God damn. Tired of the Rice Krispie folks showing up and giving me raspy feedback in my microphone. I don't like that one bit. Let me adjust it one more time. Sorry about that, guys. It's good to see you, though. Turn it there. All right, well, I guess it is what it is. We might have a little bit of raspiness today. How's the audio on your guys' end? You guys getting any scratch? Any scratch for you guys? Does it sound okay? Sounds fine. Good. Audio's good. I do see a little piece of lint in my connector there. That could have been it. Do we have a hater already? What was that? I liked that one. So desperate. Anything to keep from getting a job that requires skills. Yeah, brother. I'll be honest. I've had a lot of skilled jobs. I don't know if I've had any jobs that are more difficult than providing content every day. You're welcome to come up here and talk about it. You're welcome to have a discussion with me. But if you want to talk about skills, you want to talk about things that are difficult to do, go build an audience. Spend hours of work every day trying to come up with stories that people are going to care about. Try that, pal. But you're on my live, and it's nice to have you here. I like the fans that hate me and the fans that love me. There will be no co-host today. Felice is taking care of some family business today, so there will be no co-host. That means for those of you who are here, first of all, great job liking already. For those of you who are here, if you want to like this a lot, share it a lot, that would be terrific. We won't have the benefit of Felice being on the show and showing up in her, the people that follow her, their For You pages. So, no Felice, I'm out. Yeah, no host. Look, it's fucking rogue today, all right? We are going rogue today. Yeah, no Felice, and I apologize. But the good news for all of you is that Felice has still done what she always does and created a great outline with sources and things to talk about. So we are there. We are there. Wait, what, on live with Gorilla and David defaming yourself and Felice? They're both doing that? Bring them both up. I'll take them 2-on-1. Yeah, we can get some shushies today. I'm sure we can. Look, if you're being defamed by David and Gorilla, you're probably doing something nice. Or, I mean, something good. Not nice. That was the wrong word. Sorry, I was reading. Yeah. Yeah, please don't. That's probably fair. I'll be honest. David has tried to reach out to me. I think we covered this yesterday. It's impossible to have a conversation with David at this point. I told him, I was like, dude, the problem with you is that, no matter what I say to you, your answer will not be related to what I just said. And in response to that, he sent me a link to a story. And then started talking about whoever that guy, what's that guy's name? The Georgia case that he, Harris, what is it? Harris, whatever. Anyways. Yeah, we may get unhinged. Oh, David got banned last night? You don't say. I think Jen and I were talking about this last night. That's the real problem with Donald Trump. And that's the problem with the MAGA movement. Is that the MAGA movement has convinced people who are harmless, people who have good intentions, that they are now engaged in a war. And it's a war of ideas, but it's a war that also somehow is physically threatening to them. And so you have people who historically have just been on the sidelines, not upset, and here they are upset. And the real problem is that they're not, the people that are most upset are not the people that you would expect to come to that conclusion naturally, or come to that conclusion in a sane way. They've come to that conclusion because they're just being fed an endless stream of bullshit propaganda. Cootery, what do you mean you've been bored? Where have I been? I'm here every day. Every day. Just a reminder to you guys. You stood me up last night. We were supposed to go for a bike ride. Just to remind you guys, my main account is banned permanently from going live, and for the strangest reason possible. Essentially, that I was trafficking in things that you're not allowed to traffic in. Like I'm not selling anything. It makes absolutely no sense. And when I finally got somebody at TikTok to review it, they were like, "Yep, this makes sense." So I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. But there you go. So Cootery and anybody else who hasn't found me for a while, share this with your friends. Make sure you're following me because this is where it's going to be. Yeah, trafficking in ideas. I can see. I don't know what happened, but I can't see Jones's live. Yeah, that's interesting too. That's an interesting point. I in the morning I just scroll until I find something, and Jones was always the first thing. Like when I scrolled, it was the first thing. It never is now. In fact, today I went into Jones's live today. I had to search it. So I don't know. I think that TikTok is doing their best to make changes, but using AI for moderation is difficult. And there's a lot of crazy shit that is said on here every single day, and I don't envy the people at TikTok who have to. Wait, what the hell? Maybe my Bluetooth mouse is what causes the static in my mic. That's crazy. Apparently, him and fellow creators are suppressing their posts. What do you mean they're suppressing? Like they're doing it on purpose, or are you saying TikTok is suppressing their posts? I'm not sure what you mean by. Anyways, let's jump into it. Let's jump right into things. AJ, reach out to Jen. Where was the first thing I wanted to? I guess yeah, we can do this because I don't want to spend all day on this. But it does seem like something that we have to discuss. So I'm sure you guys have all heard this story at this point. Let me scroll up so I get the names. Justin Moan was arrested and charged with murder in Pennsylvania hours after uploading a video online showing his father's head. Justin Moan, who it's Mohn if you're looking this up, in Pennsylvania, was a obvious far right extremist, somebody who used religious ideologies to try and gain traction. He wrote multiple books, an attempt like this guy reminds me of the people over at the Daily Wire. Not that he got so extreme, but like there are these people who think that they have a message, and they think that the message that they have to share is suppressed, and that the only reason that they're not popular is because everybody else is broken. And that's like it's the incel community, it's the red pill community. Like when you say crazy things over and over and over and over again, people generally just push away from you. And going through Justin Moan, like this, it's amazing how quickly they were able to find this. I mean, I guess he had a YouTube channel that is still up, minus the video from yesterday. But he wrote a pamphlet, I can't remember what it was called, but just some of the ideas. He said Americans will have to weigh what is worse, allowing themselves to lose freedom and independence, or unaliving their own family members, teachers, co-workers, bosses, judges, elected leaders, and older generations. The document was published by Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. Its blurb read, similar to Thomas Paine's Common Sense. Great, Thomas Paine, there we go. Everybody, when people start quoting Thomas Paine, just be aware. It's not to say Thomas Paine was an extremist, but when people start quoting Thomas Paine, just be aware that person likely is a big fan of ethno-states. That person is likely a white nationalist. Not to say that anybody who quotes Thomas Paine is, but if you're trying to compare yourself, that's generally like red pillars, white nationalists, and anarcho-capitalists. Like they like Thomas Paine. Similar to Thomas Paine's Common Sense, published in 1776, which helped inspire the American Revolution, the short, easy-to-understand pamphlet explains why another revolution is likely in America and how it could be successful. Like, I don't know how you guys feel. Those of you who live in Texas, I don't know how many of you guys live in Texas. I know Kim does, and I know that there's at least some of us here in Texas, but you know firsthand the bloodthirstiness of the MAGA people who are the loudest on Twitter, on social media, on podcasts. Like this idea of a violent revolution is not only like it's no longer in the fringes. It's no longer something that like nobody's heard about. It's something that like prominent or at least influential MAGA people are openly talking about every single day now. I was on Andy Biggs' town hall last night trying to get a question. First of all, I've been on Andy Biggs' town hall multiple times, and I try and ask questions. And every single time, yeah, you call in, you hit the like *7 or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, who's this? Where are you calling from? What do you wanted to? What question would you like to ask the congressman?" And yesterday, they answered the phone. They said, "Is this Jay?" I was like, "Oh shit, I'm not going to get to ask my question." But I was listening to it for, it's like an hour, hour and a half, something like that. And I was listening to it, and multiple people said, "I believe a civil war is coming. I believe a civil war is on the horizon." And I can tell you, a sitting United States congressman never once brought up any pushback, never gave any pushback to that idea. In fact, he validated that every time. Yep, I agree. We now have people sitting in Congress just like openly up to the idea that we're going to have a civil war. MAGA, if you're here and you think the Gravy Seal's wanting a civil war, that's no, I don't think a civil war is coming. I really don't. Look, everyday Americans don't give a fuck about Donald Trump being arrested. And make no mistake, this is all about Donald Trump. This has nothing to do with the border. It has nothing to do with Joe Biden. It is all about Donald Trump. People, Meal Team 6. Jesus. That's so good. That is so good. The real SEALs are conservatives. That's not true. I've been to San Francisco, which is a very liberal town and a massive SEAL population if you go down by the wharf. So I don't know if that's true, Lib Wrangler. I'm not sure. But yeah, like this is the kind of desperation rhetoric that you see when the walls are closing in. And the walls are certainly closing in. I'm going to ask Jen and my mods to keep me posted, and you guys as well during the live. Normally I'm able to scroll around a little bit more, but we have a settlement coming, or not a settlement, excuse me, a verdict coming in Donald Trump's other case today. Shut up, Ash. We're expected to see a judgment in excess of $370 million, which is the undoing of Donald Trump. This is not something he's allowed to campaign for. This is not something he's allowed to take donations for. Like all of you schmucks who have been paying Donald Trump's bills for 7 years now, like you can't pay this bill. You're not allowed to. So as soon as we get a number there, if it happens during this live, I'll make sure to cover it. But I wanted to cover that story in Pennsylvania. And I look, it's a gross story. If you want to read it, read it. It was the first thing I read this morning. I felt sick. The start of this morning started with that story, then finding out that one of my best friend's fathers, like a man who one of the only free-thinking men I ever knew in Utah. He was a Mormon. He was conservative, but he was a free thinker. And he was one of the only free-thinking men I ever met. He passed away this morning after a long battle in his 80s. It was expected, so condolences to my friend. We did see it coming, but that's how the day started. Just remembering that there are conservatives like that who are free thinkers. There are like he was the guy that would bring. He was a city councilman, and he would bring the city council to a screeching halt at any time. And he didn't always even take a position that he cared about. He would oftentimes just take the opposing position to make sure that position was heard. So as I appreciate the condolences. Thank you guys. I really, it's something that was expected. It's just, that's life. We're getting older. My father's sick. Felice's father is sick. It's part of it. But I do think it's important in the losses that I've had recently to try and remember the lessons that people leave, right? That's the thing. Like the pain is there. It's always sad to lose somebody, but I do think that like there's, as somebody who doesn't believe in God anymore, like there's an impact you make on this world, and that impact can be good, it can be bad, it can be large, it can be small, and it doesn't really matter. So to some people, it's very important to leave a large impact. To others, it's not that important. But I do think one of the things that I've learned in dealing with as much death as I've dealt with in the last year and a half is that those memories, those lessons, those personality traits that you respect about people, like those things can live on by you recognizing them, speaking about them, and trying to make them live on. So I appreciate the condolences. We don't need to go over that though all day. But I long for the days when you had free thinking Republicans. They did exist. I promise they existed. I was there. I don't think I was really a free thinking Republican. I wouldn't have put myself along those lines. In fact, I really didn't like the free thinking Republicans. They bothered me. The people that pushed back against certain ideas, the people that said, you know what, maybe gay marriage is okay. Like maybe it's okay if you're not gay and don't want to be married to, in my situation, a man. Like maybe that's okay. And I didn't like those people. But I tell you what, I respect those people a lot more now. And there's no place for them in the Republican Party. Which is terrible. Yeah, Felice is off today. So I will do my best to get through the show outline with as much knowledge as I have. And in the comments, troll the shit out of people. The box is open. That weak men vote Republican. It's absolutely true. It's 100% true. And I'll just position it this way. There's not a scenario where you can be a free thinker and not be a fascist and support this party. It's over. It's over for you guys pretending that you're conservative. It's over for you guys pretending you care about fiscal responsibility. It's over for you pretending you care about the Constitution. It's over for you caring about personal liberties. It's over for you caring about the freedom of religion. You don't. You care about nothing but power. And that's what sucks. It doesn't work out for you. Like, look around if you're a conservative here. Look around you. Are you the wealthy? Are you like top shelf when it comes to income? Are you in your community? Are you the person with the most income? If you're not, just know that as it tightens, as things tighten up, because fascism just sucks everything dry, sucks out all the resources out of everything. Just remember that you don't have that many resources. You don't think that, like, once the separation has begun, once the fascism has taken over, and once they've taken care of whatever problems you think they're going to take care of, and they run out of money, you don't think they're going to come for yours? Whose money do you think they're going to go for first? You want to, like, this will turn into, like, if Donald Trump is able to accomplish his plan, not just win the election and then accomplish his goals. If Project 2025 is somehow implemented, we will be Russia. And I think that it's telling that so many Republicans quietly or loudly defame Ukraine. That constantly point to Ukraine like they're a bigger problem than Russia. In Russia, you work until the day you die. In Russia, you own nothing. You leave nothing for your family. You have no retirement, unless you happen to be part of the wealthy class, in which case you have insane amounts of money. And so unless your goal is to become personal friends with Trump, work your way up the ladder, work your way into the fascist regime so that you yourself are like a baron, then great. Like, that plan will work for you. But for everybody else, it's a really fucking bad plan. Now, I have a personal goal, and Hole, who's not here, is helping me with this personal goal. The goal is that we figure out who the fuck the pipe bomber is. Yesterday, Ron Filipowski, Felice's favorite human on earth, I believe he's the editor of Midas Touch, tweeted, "I realize this is an unpopular opinion, but I don't think it was Marge, and I'm on the record saying that from day one. I have always had a different suspect." Marjorie Taylor Greene responded by saying, "So are you saying the Dems are going to have to stop calling me the pipe bomber now?" If you have a computer in front of you, if you have a phone in front of you, Hole, yeah, Lib Wrangler, you would really like Hole. You guys both seem like the type of people who don't have friends. There's an article posted June 16th, 2022 about a man named Ivan Raiklin. and the Pence card. Yvonne Rakelin is the man who was mentioned during a January 6th hearing as having posted a memo called Operation Pence Card. The memo outlined a theory that the vice president could block certification of the election results on January 6th. Rakelin has worked for Michael Flynn and a group of other former military service members to spread various unfounded theories about how the 2020 election was compromised, an effort that began weeks before January 6th and continued months after. They have also been heavily involved in efforts to file lawsuits and audits in various states challenging the election outcome. Rakelin first posted the Pence card document on his social media accounts in mid-December 2020. Trump appeared to endorse the plan, retweeting one of Rakelin's posts about the Pence card on December 23rd, 2020. Oh, Trump forced one. David's in the box. Raise your hand if you want David to come up and not answer a single question. Raise your hand in the box if you want David. And Jen's going to make that call whether or not we want to bring up David. Look, I understand David is not fun, but David will bring in other people, just so you know. That's the one selling point is when David shows up, other lunatics show up, and we can bring them in. So I'm going to let Jen make that call while we're pulling this up. But anyway, so Yvonne Rakelin is somebody who, former military. There's Anarchy Princess, who she's the one that was standing behind. What's that guy's name? The guy that just got sentenced to jail. I can't remember his name. Anyway, she's the one standing behind him, holding the sign, like honking the horn. If Peter Navarro, thank you, Kelsey. Peter Navarro. She ran into Yvonne and she started calling him the pipe bomber, and that led me to look at the videos. If you watch the pipe bomber videos, a couple things look really, really. A couple things seem really obvious. Number one, the person seems to be wearing orthotics. Let's see. What do we have here? What does Jen have to say? Hey, Jen.
I swear to God. Oh, Jen, you make the decision. You be the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, David, if I let you up, I'm saying this ahead of time. Behave yourself. I will mute you, and I will kick you if you can't keep your stuff in line. I mean, you won't be able to do it, but I'm just warning you ahead of time. I'm giving you so when you get muted or if you get blocked, I'm going to say I warned you.
All right. Got it? That's fair enough. That's a fair warning. I think it's fair. All right. Thanks, Jen. All right. David, give me one more minute. I just want you guys, while David's talking, I want you to go watch the video of the pipe bomb footage. Notice that the person has a noticeable limp. They appear to be wearing orthotics. And if you want to go check out Anarchy Princess on Twitter, it's at SatireAP. She does a little bit of a breakdown of the gate, and we'll come back to this after you guys lose your brain cells for a second. What's up, dude?
What's happening?
I heard you and Gorilla were talking shit. What's going on? You guys grumpy at me?
What are we talking shit about?
I don't know. That's just what I was told. I was told you and Gorilla.
No, we were just going over, how the blocking shit goes. Like your moderator, you better do this or else. You know,
this is my.
I'm going to silence you.
Yeah,
that's good. Platform. That's fine. That's fine. That's not talking shit. This is just talking the truth. So you guys are so worried about Project 2020.
Did you know that? Hold on. Did you know that Gorilla came up here yesterday and shared stories about his girlfriend's abuse, like details about how his girlfriend was abused? Did you know that?
No, I didn't. What does that matter?
To try and prove a point that E. Jean Carroll wasn't. He shared somebody else, another victim's story, as a way to try and justify what happened with E. Jean Carroll.
So E. Jean Carroll, we were talking about that yesterday.
He got dumped because Felice, who also has dealt with abuse in her life, was like, hey, like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But he's just going. He did the same thing with Nina. He tried to use the fact that he had a trans niece as his way to explain away his bigotry towards the trans community.
So we were talking about that yesterday, actually, and when Trump made that statement in the deposition, and he goes, historically, it's true. Do you agree with that comment?
No.
Okay, so if you take something out of
do Do you agree with the comment that historically, if you're a star, you can just walk up and grab women wherever you want? Do you believe that?
It's not okay, but I agree with the comment. Like historically, people what. So like there was two Democrats. There's Facts Don't Matter. Well, I call them Facts Don't Matter. Facts Matter, and another Democrat in the live, and he goes. So I brought up the point about Oprah Winfrey. He goes, "Fuck yeah, I'd be his water boy." I said, "That's my point." I said, my point is for a rich woman, you would do the same thing. So a lot of women have done the same thing. Not the victims. Of course, the victims. You know, you got to feel sorry for the victims. Of course.
Hold on.
You don't want a victim blame.
What do you mean you would do the same thing?
So the guy, I forget, Chad, I think his name was, and
like
in
if
fact,
Oprah did that to him, is that what he's saying?
Right. What I'm saying is,
but if he's saying he's okay with it, that's consent. It's different. She's saying she didn't give consent. He's saying he gave consent there.
I know our stance is we believe Trump, right? We believe some of these people.
I know that's your stance, but I don't really care what you believe. I care more about.
Don't make it seem like we don't care about victims because we do. It's not.
You don't.
That's not true. But you guys are concerned about Project 2025.
David, here's the problem. You don't know if Trump is lying to you or not. You don't know, and I don't know.
I don't.
Neither you nor I was in that dressing room, right?
Right.
You guys, but I'm not out here defaming anything. I'm saying, like I said, let the jury decide. The jury decided, and you guys don't like it. You guys are all cool with law and order until the jury decides that Donald Trump was bad, and now you look for every reason. The jury, David, how many people have to show you that he's a criminal before you're going to believe it?
Okay, so you're trying to smear it. So it's not like we just blindly.
I'm telling you what happened.
It's not like we have blinders on, and
the jury. But it's not like we have ruling.
But what I'm saying is, it's not like we have blinders on. We're just blindly fucking believing this guy. That's not the truth.
That's exactly what you have, David.
No, they changed the law, okay, and they specifically, it seems like so that way E.G. and Carroll could come after Trump, right? And then this dress,
and that's the problem, David. Did you know that this law being repealed has led to additional charges against Harvey Weinstein, against Jeffrey Epstein?
That was a different state. Sorry, wrong state. You're wrong.
No, they've been new charges brought.
Yeah, but that's in a different state, dude.
No,
that's not New York.
No, in New York.
For Harvey. All of a sudden now Harvey Weinstein, because everybody's talking about it. So now Harvey Weinstein.
Because there was a statute of limitations. See, you think everything's about Trump. Let me tell you something, David.
It sure seems that way.
Nobody outside of you guys wake up and just think about Trump. You think that. You think that, like, maybe I do because I cover him every day. Like, maybe I think about Trump as much as you. But everyday Americans, like, they're not out to get Trump. And even if they were out to get Trump, well, you know what, David? If you were out to get me, who are you going to get? Who are you going to get to come forward and make that accusation? Is there anybody in your past, David, that you think could get a guilty verdict against you?
Sure. No, not against me, but I mean, somebody that I know that might have done something wrong. Sure. I mean, but what I'm saying is only thing I wish you guys would see is to understand why we have this belief, like why we believe him and stuff like that, instead of just.
Why is it important that I understand why you have that belief?
So that way you can understand, like you don't have to believe him, of course, but you can be like, oh fuck, yeah, I understand that. Not just, oh, you're in a cult. That's crazy. But dude. I think you guys are.
But wait, I don't think you know what a cult is, David.
I mean, I don't.
No, what's a cult?
Just you blindly follow a leader.
No,
because he.
Yeah, do we blindly follow Joe Biden? I'm critical of Joe Biden every single day. I criticize Joe Biden.
Not really.
Every day. I did it yesterday. Even when yesterday I complimented him on the way he dealt with the United Auto Workers, while also simultaneously pointing out the times that he was not friendly to union workers. I pointed it out, not somebody else. Me.
But why are you guys so worried that Trump's going to get Project 2025 in?
What's that?
Sorry, call was coming in. Sorry. Like I heard you talking earlier, like you guys are truly worried about Project 2025.
Yeah, because I've read it, David.
I know, but why are you so worried about it? You think Trump's getting in?
No, look, I think that there's anything is possible. I don't think Joe Biden is a good. I don't think Joe Biden is a good candidate, and I think Joe Biden has, like, no matter what his record is. And by the way, the most successful president of my life, no question. He's the best president as far as getting things done of my lifetime. There's no question. But there are other things that, like like he is older. He cognitively he's not the same that he was before. He's not a great orator. I don't blame him for Republicans hating him, because you guys can't even figure out what you hate him for.
I don't even hate him, really.
You just lie about his record. You lie about him saying the border's open. You guys don't have a fucking clue what's wrong with Joe Biden.
He's just a puppet, dude.
Sure. He literally just works with other people. That's what he does. But that's the thing. Like this, there's nothing about the left that operates like a cult. You guys legitimately operate like a cult.
Except for the fact that you guys are obsessed with Trump.
The things that you folks have said about E. Jean Carroll, when you don't know. What
have I said about E. Jean Carroll?
I said you folks. So yeah. I'm talking about the right. I haven't listened to you talk about E. Jean. I can tell you what Gorilla said. I can tell you all about like the slut shaming that happens constantly.
Her character witnesses are very good, bro.
The defense is that sexually she's open. Just because
no
open doesn't mean that they were not a victim of sexual abuse.
Character witness matters. Like if you had me in a case and you wanted to use me as a witness against Trump or something.
But how does that hurt her character? How does the fact that she's open about her sexuality, she's open about talking about fetishes and kinks, how does that hurt her character?
What about when she says that most people think of that as sexy?
She didn't say most people. She said some people.
Nah, I got it right here. So
read it.
No, I mean I can play it. She was on it. She was on Anderson Cooper.
Play it.
I have it saved. Hang on. Okay.
Play it.
And it's crazy. It's crazy that you guys don't see that side of it. I mean, I understand you respect the jury and you believe the jury.
I'm giving you the opportunity to show me that side of it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up. But I find it crazy that you guys don't see that kind of stuff and be like, wow, that's kind of, that's weird. You know, as far as a character.
Turn your mic down, David.
Sure.
Everybody can hear you breathing. Can you turn it down?
Is that better?
I think so. I don't know.
Okay. Let me look for my Trump stuff. I have it saved right here. Okay, hang on. E. Jean Carroll. Where the hell is she? There she is. Okay. Let me make sure the volume's up on this.
You don't feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished. Which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
But I think most people think of rape as a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Yeah, let's go to break. Anderson Cooper, let's go to break. So she said most people. Okay, so you're wrong.
She was. First of all, he was.
You said some people. You said some people.
Okay, fair enough. All right,
that's all I'm saying.
Sure, I don't agree with her there, but does that make her guilty?
No, that doesn't make her guilty.
Does that mean Trump's innocent? Wait, does that mean Trump's innocent?
Did not say that.
She's making a judgment about what she thinks other people think. And her judgment likely is very biased based on the fact that she appears to have been an abuse victim, and she sees like the attacks against her are vile. Like the attacks against her, like they're going after her sexuality. So I think
But that wasn't my point.
Whether I agree or not, her viewpoint, I can understand her viewpoint, but it doesn't.
My point was you were wrong on that.
It doesn't change. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't change, but like, how does that hurt her character? How does that make her less credible?
It's not just that; it's several things. Her
character
witness.
No. See, this is the problem, David, and this is what
hurts her character.
This is what I keep trying to fucking tell you when you DM me. Whenever I ask you a question, instead of answering it directly, you make a list of things because your entire ideology is narrative.
You said, what about her character?
And you're terrified.
And I showed you.
You are terrified of taking points one by one. So I'm asking you this exact quote. How does this show that her character is in question?
I think it shows that her thinking on being essayed or what essay is. I think her thinking behind it, her logic behind it shows her character behind it.
She said specifically it's like somebody being thrown down and ravaged.
Yeah, she said it hurt.
I don't know if you've read any smut books. Like that's what they say. They talk about that all. Like, I don't know if you've seen or read 50 Shades of Grey. Like, that's true. There are a lot of people who think, like, that is sexy to them, the idea of being thrown down and ravaged. She's saying that idea, that...
You can have that analogy, sure.
Hold on. She's saying that visual to most people is sexy. What she also says in that clip
that's your perception.
I know, but what she also says in that clip is, that's not what happened to me. There was nothing sexual about what happened to me.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your perception is that she was talking about being kinky.
Yeah, no, she's saying that people view that as sexy. Most people. Yeah. I don't know where she gets that statistic. She might be right. She might not.
You just said 50 Shades of Grey. That was your context on that. I mean, that was your outline.
Okay, but again, that's not what happened to her.
I know, but your take on it is...
David, no, I'm saying... You have to understand the clip that you just said. Like, you're saying that discredits her character. She's saying, here's what most people think of when they think of rape, and most people think that's like a sexy act. What happened to me wasn't sexual.
Well, another thing that you guys take out of context on that whole lawsuit is it's a civil lawsuit.
David, this is what I keep telling you in DMs, dude, and I'm going to point
you just told me
every time.
You just told me I agree with you.
When I'm done, I need you to respond to what I say and not move on to your next point. So, can you understand that what she's saying is that people think that is sexy, but what happened to her
your take.
Was not sexual? No, that's what she said. She said what happened to me was not. Did she say what happened to me was not sexual? In that video clip that you played.
Yeah, she said it was not sexual.
Okay,
yeah.
So then what are you arguing?
So my take on that is she's saying it wasn't sexual, and some people, think of it as sexy.
Yeah, she said
so
it was violence. She said it was violence.
Sure. I mean, I have a hard time believing that so first of all, when somebody like me defends Trump, I don't see the civil lawsuit the same way you do, because I could say anything I want in a lawsuit about you, and if I win that defamation lawsuit, everything I've written and outlined in that lawsuit is by default true. And that's all this is a default case. Trump went out there. Yes, it is.
No, it's
100%.
No. Then why is there a jury if it's default?
Because Donald Trump, Donald Trump went out there during the trial and said all kinds of bad shit about her. Defamation, my friend. Defamation. Yeah. So everything outlined in that fucking defamation lawsuit by default is true, even if it's not true.
No, it's true that he defamed her.
It is. It is true he defamed her. It's not true he essayed her, though.
Well, the jury
Big difference
with you. No, they did.
No, the jury finds it.
No, the jury awarded damages for sexual abuse. The jury
awarded damages because that's what's outlined in the lawsuit.
Case for sexual abuse. You're wrong.
Because that's outlined in the lawsuit.
David, imagine this.
You're wrong, buddy.
Imagine this as a family member, and you have a family
You don't understand.
member. No, you don't understand. A family member comes to you, and they're like, hey, I was abused. And you're like, who was it? And they're like, it's this guy. And then later on, you see a clip of a guy who was caught on a hot mic bragging about his ability to do exactly what she said he did. You would never side with that guy, ever, in any scenario.
Not saying I would.
Side with the guy who's on tape bragging about doing exactly what he did to this woman. That's why you're in a cult, David.
No, not saying I would.
You don't look at evidence through a lens of what's likely, or you won't remove your love for Donald Trump for this case. You won't do it. If this happened to anybody in your life, you would be siding with the victim every fucking time.
So let's take that same scenario and let's say my sister was lying. Let's just say my sister was lying, okay? Let's just say my sister was lying,
okay.
But the same guy went out and fucking talked a bunch of shit about her and defamed her. And then he was awarded damages even though she was lying.
Let's add everything else. Let's add everything else into there. That guy also has been accused of doing similar things to a previous ex-wife. By the way, a previous
doesn't make him guilty.
I hear you, and this is why I think you're in a cult. You and I do not know what happened in that dressing room. Let's be clear on that. You don't know, and I don't know, and we don't have to know. Courts are meant to say, in a civil case, basically they're supposed to say, is there enough evidence here that what they're saying here is likely? Is it more likely or not that it happened? And based on the evidence and based on the defense of Donald Trump, which was nothing.
What evidence?
Was no defense.
What evidence? The dress that was thrown out?
Well, the dress wasn't thrown out. The dress couldn't be used. The dress couldn't be used.
It wasn't just DNA.
Be quiet. The dress couldn't be used because Donald Trump refused to do a DNA test.
No, supposedly it wasn't even made in the same era.
Wait, explain to me. If Donald Trump refuses to do a DNA test, and he's not obligated to in a civil trial, what good would that dress do?
It was thrown out. We don't know all the reasons, but why it was thrown out.
Can you turn your volume back down? Did you turn it back up?
It's down.
Okay, sorry. That might have been an old message. That's on me then. Yeah, like, no, it wasn't thrown out. The evidence, there's no evidence there if Donald Trump won't agree to submit DNA.
Look, you're not going to agree with me on this case. Yeah,
No. This is the problem with you, David.
No, I mean, I agree. It was not evidence in there.
We're talking. You can't agree on facts. When you get stumped on something,
look it up. Why was it thrown out? Why was it thrown out?
David,
I'll look it up.
If the dress she was wearing that day, if she wanted to use that as evidence, what would make that evidence viable?
It wasn't. It was thrown out, and it wasn't because of DNA
David,
either.
No, that's not the question I asked. How would that dress be viable evidence?
So if you had it for 30 years and you had DNA on it, and Trump wouldn't give up his DNA,
then what
sure,
good
that
is
looks
the dress?
That could look suspicious, just like Trump's cases
what good
with no
is
evidence.
The dress
right?
if Trump doesn't give DNA? What good is the dress? Is it evidence of anything?
I mean, depends on the context of how you try to introduce the evidence. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, they tried to introduce.
What store it was bought from? What error it was from? Because I heard it was from the wrong error. I've heard the dress wasn't even made in the same error that she says it was, and it was thrown out for that reason. That's what I heard.
There's. I don't remember what the argument is against that. There's a counter argument, and I don't know enough about fashion or how things are made to even refute that. But again, the dress doesn't matter. It doesn't. It wasn't part of the evidence. But what the evidence was is that E. Jean Carroll had told multiple people the same exact story for decades. She told her therapist. She went through therapy with her therapist to get over these things. She's written about it repeatedly. Donald Trump is on a microphone bragging about his ability to do that. Then when pushed on that, he's like, yeah, historically that's true. So Donald Trump painted himself as somebody who thought he was allowed to do those things. And then the exact thing that he said he did, the exact thing, David, the exact thing he bragged about when he didn't know he was being recorded is what she accused him of. And she accused him of that 30 years, according to her therapist and people around him, 30 years before that Access Hollywood tape ever came out. So if you are a civil jury and your job is not to determine guilt or like guilty or not guilty, in a civil jury, you're supposed to look at the evidence and you're going to basically say, like, which side has better evidence? Well, Donald Trump doesn't have any. All they did was try and smear her character. And nothing really stuck, because when you point to somebody who's sexually free or sexually open,
she didn't have very much evidence either, bro.
That is only an indictment on their character of people who suppress their sexuality.
So the only evidence she had, basically, was that he was out there defaming her. You do realize that, right?
No, David.
That's all they had to prove.
Hold on. Well, in the second case, yes. In the
first case,
this is the problem. No, in the first case, it was defamation as well as sexual abuse. There were damages paid for sexual abuse. They ruled that he sexually abused her. That was part of the ruling.
That was the accusation. That was the accusation.
David,
outlined
we've done this. David, the jury found. Do we need to read it?
Okay, so look, man.
If I read it to you, will you believe?
What do you want me to say on this? We went over this. What do you want me to say on this?
You do every day.
I disagree with you, bro. That's all. That's all it is.
If the jury, if I read you the jury verdict and they say he's liable of sexual abuse, will you believe that?
If I read the jury verdict in a lawsuit against you, that's going to be outlined in the lawsuit too. Just so you realize that.
David, that's not the question I'm asking.
It's a default.
You said
it's a default win.
David, you said the jury didn't find him guilty of that, or didn't find that he was liable for that. They did.
Okay, so when we say we, the jury, we outline the lawsuit.
The judge said that from day one. The judge said that on day one, that this is already settled.
Of course he did day one.
No, the second judge. Because do you know why? Do you know why, David?
Tell me, Jerry. Tell me.
Because you can't relitigate that case. This is a separate case, and this defamation is based on that ruling. So whether Trump did this or not, whether Trump did this or not, let's just pretend in your world that Trump didn't do this, but he was found guilty of it. If he continues to go out and make that claim because the judgment's against him, then that's defamation.
I'm not arguing that.
Then what are you arguing?
Because he's sticking to his...
Guy can't... David, the guy that you worship, the guy behind you, he can't shut the fuck up.
Okay, I got a question for you.
He cannot shut up.
Okay, fine, Jay.
And he's attacking women. This is
I
why
just
you guys
agreed with you. It's
obliterated
defamation.
with
Why,
women.
you're still yelling at me about
Why
it.
women aren't voting for you. This is why Nikki Haley is.
I agreed with you on it. I agreed with you on it. But let's take that same scenario and say you did. Let's just say you didn't do this, okay? Let's just say you didn't do it. You were found guilty, and then you were still running your mouth, and everybody's like, "What the fuck? Jay's still running his mouth," and you were like, "I'm fucking innocent." That's why. Just put that scenario in your head for a second.
Yeah, I would shut up.
Oh, you would give in and you would kowtow because of money, huh?
Well, David, the thing is,
all right.
yeah, David, because I'm not.
All right, that's who you are. That's
well,
who you
David, no, David, he can't overturn it. Right?
Doesn't matter. I believe in Stanford.
He can't overturn. Wait, he can't overturn this in the public. The public has nothing to do with this. If it was me and I legitimately thought that I was innocent, if I was like, I'm innocent, I would go through all the evidence. I would appeal the first case, and I would be quiet, and I would not add any fodder to the idea that. And he did. Well, that's the problem.
I know. That's our disagreement. That's it. That's all it is. So, can we go to?
It's not our only problem. Our main problem is, David, and I'll say this: like, even if you believe Trump is innocent, you don't know, and I think
I don't know.
It is. I know, and it's incredibly dangerous to when you don't know the details of a story.
I know things he did do.
To defame E. Jean Carroll, you don't know. You should just shut up.
No, I know things he did for us as a country.
There's no opinion that needs. Wait, no, but this is the thing. You might be wrong, David. And if you and if you and all your moron friends are wrong, you are putting a woman's life in jeopardy, and you are showing to other women all over the country that they will not be believed. When this stuff happens,
what if you're wrong?
When victims see the way that E. Jean Carroll has been treated, it makes them less likely to come forward.
So what if you're wrong, Jay? What if you're wrong?
Hold on. Do you get that?
I get that you embrace.
Your
if you embrace
reaction. Whether she's guilty, whether she's lying or not, your reaction to this makes women less likely to come forward and report sexual abuse.
I can understand that. Because I believe in the greater cause, I guess I could say. I don't believe that this stuff.
Donald Trump, we get it. Yeah.
So let's say put the shoe on the other foot, Jay. Jay, put the shoe on the other foot. So put the shoe on the other foot. Please, for a second, can you do that for like a minute, dude? For a minute, can you do that, please? I'm asking you so nicely, dude. So put the shoe on the other foot for a second and say, let's just say the former president of the United States, okay, was accused of all this horrific shit, and he was telling the fucking truth. And in the meantime, you had sexual assaulters that were fucking, got emboldened by this, whatever you're trying to claim, okay? Mm-hmm. Now. But him sticking up for what he believes in and trying to fight for the country. Now remember, you're trying to believe him for a second.
This isn't about him fighting for the country. This is about him in this civil case.
I know. I know.
This is the problem, David. You can't separate your political ideologies from a court case. You can't.
See, you're unable to put your shoes in that foot, huh?
In what foot?
So you're sticking up for the man.
Yeah, David. I've been in a cult before, David.
Dude.
And what I'm telling look.
You're incapable of doing it, yes.
There is nobody in this world worth this. Nobody. Because David, even if your guy wins, he's the most divisive human being ever to run for president. He's the most
only because the media
of our lifetime. And he will, if he wins, he will divide even further. So what are you fighting for, David? What's the fight?
It's not going to die. Okay, so this is my hypothesis on this. I think if Donald Trump wins, he's only going to win if he proves himself innocent. Okay, that's the only way he wins anyway. And by doing that, he's going to change your mind, dude.
Look, and
it's not going to be so divisive.
Hold on. He now has two essentially guilty verdicts. A third one coming today. And every time he found guilty or charged with something, you guys like him more. So I don't think you're right. I don't think I don't think he has to prove his innocence. And you've admitted that it doesn't matter. You will vote for him no matter what, even if he's guilty. So I think you're lying right now.
I said if he's guilty, he won't. I said if he's guilty, I won't. I'll vote for Joe Biden.
Last time you were here, you said, even if he's guilty of the Georgia case, I'm going to vote for him.
I did not say that. I said 100%. He would have to have evidence. I never said if he was guilty.
100%.
No. So I only thing I've ever said about a guilty verdict, if they do not let him introduce evidence and defend himself for some reason, but there's no way that's going to happen. We're going to have transcripts, and the Georgia case is falling apart anyway, dude.
David,
I mean, let's be fair.
No, it's not. You're an idiot.
Oh, it's definitely.
David, he hasn't.
Thank God the lawyer's not on the case no more. Oh, yeah.
David, 3 people have pled guilty. 3.
Three of
Wait, hold on.
the 2 lawyers that don't. They're
David,
not sticking with that. What are you talking about?
How many people have had a verdict?
Chesbro's publicly.
How many people have had a verdict issued against them in the RICO case?
What are the guilty verdicts? They're not RICO.
How many decisions
Wrong.
have there been? In the RICO case, how many decisions have there been?
There's been 3.
Yeah. And what were the outcome?
And both lawyers, except
what was
for
the outcome of all 3?
they pled down
Guilty.
count 15 Chesbro.
Guilty.
Not in RICO.
All 3 guilty.
Not in RICO
All 3 of
case.
them.
None of them
And
the
you were
RICO
saying
charges.
So she 100% of the people that she has charged and taken to court so far, she has gotten guilty verdicts on, and you're saying that the
Not on RICO.
falling apart.
Not on RICO.
Yeah, this is part. I don't think you know how RICO works, David.
There is no guilty verdict in a RICO charge. These are they pled down.
So if you
like
go,
Chesbro.
Yeah, David.
Falsified documents.
David, if you go look at the RICO charges, like if you look at when the mafia was brought down, you know how many people that pled guilty to RICO?
Yeah, like 1 or 2.
Almost
probably.
none. Almost none. You know why? Because what happens when you're building a RICO case is
Yeah,
you say to the people like, "Hey, we'll drop the RICO charges if you cooperate."
Yeah, but
Because ultimately they're looking they're looking for the head of the organization.
But what doesn't make sense.
If you agree with that, what's your argument?
So what doesn't make sense is when you plead guilty, okay, and then you're publicly going out there saying there's no such thing as fake electors, and the ramifications of the case is why my client pled guilty to count 15 because it was in best interest for a long politically charged trial. You know, there's many reasons why people plead guilty. It's not just because they're guilty.
Yeah, well, okay. Then
It's true.
Because they're just laying down their life for Donald Trump? That's
well, in many cases, it's actually get the criminal. You know what I mean? But
who's the criminal?
Or they can't afford
Who's
to
the criminal,
fight.
David? Who's the criminal?
You guys think it's Donald Trump?
Well, that's what they pled guilty to.
But it doesn't make sense to go on public television and literally go say everything they're saying is a lie and it's politically charged and a one-sentence apology.
Here's the funny thing about you being on your side and not knowing what it's like being on the other side. The vitriol, the anger, the threats of violence against anybody who has the audacity to question Donald Trump. If I was any of those 3 people who pled guilty, I would have done the exact same thing. I would have pled guilty, and then if I was in front of a camera, I would pretend that I didn't, and I would pretend I was still a Donald Trump loyalist because it would keep me safe.
That doesn't make. That's a good cop out, but that doesn't make sense.
It's not a cop out, David. I have a friend. By the way, I do want to ask you, your guy. Remember when you criticized me and other lefties all the time about Sound of Freedom, and now it turns out that guy was sexually assaulting multiple women.
Oh, that's such a lie. That's such a lie. Here, let me tell you the lie on that.
Guess what, David?
Let me tell you the lie on that.
Guess what, David? I've seen the evidence.
Yeah, they dropped the case.
No, David. No, they didn't. David, listen.
No, hang on. So let's talk about this.
Shut up for a second. Let me explain.
Right.
A former girlfriend of mine and somebody I'm close to is one of the victims.
Okay.
I've seen the messages.
You got to believe that.
David, I've seen the evidence.
Okay, sure. Fine.
I've seen text messages of him apologizing for the
Let me tell you
that he hold on, shut up. Listen.
Then why was it dropped?
I've seen messages. No, it's not dropped, David. You're wrong. I've seen messages of him apologizing for what he did, begging people not to report it, begging them.
Okay, fine. Educate me. Hang on. Let me tell you what I know, and you tell me what I don't know. Okay. So what I know about the case is this is one of the investors, because it was a crowdfunded movie. Okay, and the investor was actually it was a girlfriend with the guy, and she was going through a divorce, and she had her kids there. And so he was charged with harboring and kidnapping because he was harboring with her, and then it was dropped. So
you're talking about a different case.
It's Sound of Freedom.
You can look this up. It said December 6th is when there was a press conference of 5 different women who came out and explained how he operated, how he groomed them, how he
if he did it, he's a piece of shit, dude.
And then all 5 said he violently assaulted them. All
Fine.
5.
Then he's a piece of shit. But could bad people do good things? Bad people do good things.
And guess what? The GOP is putting him on the stage at CPAC.
Yeah, I want to see this evidence, but
his popularity and let me tell you more. The reason I brought up this story, David, is if you tried to find, I'm not going to mention the name of who it is.
I'm not going to try to defend this guy.
But
I will defend the movie.
Hold on, David. Hold on. I'm trying to explain to you what happens when you go against the MAGA machine. This person who is a victim, also somebody and because of her career and her husband's career, they are now unemployable. They no longer can have a public profile. They no longer can have social media. They had to take their kids out of school. David, look at me, please. David, this is the problem. You talk to me. Don't go.
I was just looking it up real quick. That's all.
Okay, I'm telling you, she can't be seen publicly. She has to move. She'll have to leave the state because of death threats, because she came forward as a victim. And the MAGA movement doesn't believe victims. And in fact, they believe victims so little that they attack them, that they threaten them. She sent me the screenshots of death threats, David.
So I get that.
She spoke out, and the only reason MAGA's after her is
that's not cool.
They've been trained to not believe women. They think that every time one of their heroes does something wrong, that it's the women that are at fault.
Jay, so people like myself should not...
Show me a MAGA person who's been accused of SA who didn't immediately have the MAGA people threatening the victim.
Okay, so you want... Look, the best pathway, because you talk about it all the time. I introduced you and Felice, okay? And you guys, I've always talked to them, and your guys are supposed to convince people, right? So part of the movement should... Part of the movement should be to get people like myself. If people are being accused of these things and being threatened, that's not okay. Okay, I should be talking about it on my platform too. Okay, I'm not okay with that stuff. The only thing I ever defended, because I don't know anything about this guy except for one of the fundraiser guys did get charged and it was dropped. That's a different case. That's a different scenario to talk about. But what I'm saying is the movie itself is a good thing to expose people to what goes on around the world.
Even though it was all based on lies.
It's not all based on lies. There's lots of SA traffic victims.
Did you know that the girl that is in that story, the girl that they save, she came to Operation Underground Railroad when she was 19. They didn't save her.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
The entire movie is made up.
That's not what I'm saying, dude. What I'm saying is
hold on.
Shed light.
But David, if the story is so powerful, and this is what you guys do,
it is.
The story's so If the story's so powerful, why do you have to lie?
Unless you don't care about victims.
No, if the story is so powerful, why do you have to lie about it? By the way,
I don't know why the creators did that, dude. That's not what I'm saying.
I worked with Operation Underground Railroad, and I also worked with the Maloof Foundation. The Maloof Foundation, also in Utah, is suing Operation Underground Railroad. I have friends who were donors to Operation Underground Railroad who have spoken to me off the record. People that went on the trip.
Cool, people lied. That's not cool.
David. Don't cut me off because you don't know. Learn something.
I believe you.
I talked to the donors who went on. You guys can look up Jimmy Rex. Look up Jimmy Rex, Operation Underground Railroad. This is somebody who funded Tim Ballard and went on trips, and he can tell you, you know what happened? Nothing.
Cool, it was fake.
Basically went and hung out at strip clubs. We didn't rescue anybody. We never did.
It doesn't mean that the movie is not. It doesn't mean exposing what goes on around the world isn't a good thing just because the story wasn't true.
He didn't expose. Sorry, David. Jen ran out of time for it. What's up, Travis?
You're a fucking liar, dude. Everything you're saying.
What am I lying about, Travis? Let's bring it down a little. Travis, let's bring it down a little. Travis, buddy.
That's the
Travis,
thing.
buddy. Travis.
All
right, Travis. All right, I gotta mute you for a second. All right, Travis. Listen, brother. I understand you're upset. I understand you've been waiting to talk. Just bring it down a level. I'll have a conversation with you. If you think I'm lying about something, let's address it. But calm down a little bit. All right, pal? You can unmute now.
Yeah, calm down. You talk to people like
calm down a little. Let's have a discussion, Travis, like a grown up. You're a grown up, right?
I just pulled over. I'm a grown up. Yeah, man.
Okay. So let's bring the energy down a little, Travis.
All right, let's go.
What do you think I'm lying about?
How it's like so. You all just know this girl. You saw the text messages. Like number one, you wouldn't have saw none of the text messages if all this was in the process of in court. They would never show you the text messages. You wouldn't be able to see it.
Yes, I can.
No,
you know why?
You wouldn't, man.
Let me explain.
You're making this shit up,
Travis.
You're making this shit up because you're on live.
Travis, hold on. Travis,
people will come here and they'll side with you. I'm calm down, but you wouldn't be able to see it. The girl would show you. The girl
calm down, Travis.
I'm just telling you.
Calm down, Travis. Calm down, Travis. Listen, the text messages that I saw, that I was shown, and there are 3 other people who have seen them. We were shown them on the condition of anonymity.
Oh, really?
You promised. Yes, Travis.
Who were you showing them by?
I'm not going to give you the victim's name. Are you out of your goddamn mind?
I guess I must be, man. I mean, I'm not really. What upsets me?
Wait. Here's my question, Travis. Travis, let me ask you this question real quick. Let me ask you this question. Have you seen any of the text messages?
Why would I see them?
This isn't a gotcha, Travis. Travis, I'm trying to bring it down. Just hear me out, Travis. Travis, hear me out.
Millions of people.
Travis, calm down. Hold on. Hear me out, brother. Let's have a conversation. Travis,
I can have a conversation with you, but let's go ahead.
Let's just hold on. These aren't gotcha questions. Let me just ask you a couple questions.
Why would the Republican Party get behind Donald Trump and already put him as a victor? Why would they do that? Andy's going to give you all this.
Travis, nobody can hear you, my friend. Travis, let's bring it down, dude.
Because you won't let no one talk.
Travis, I'm trying to ask you a question. God damn, dude.
Man, that's the thing.
This is the weak man I'm talking about. So weak you can't have a conversation. You just want to shout and yell and be angry.
Because you're a narcissist, man. I got to talk over you.
No, be quiet, Travis. Let's have a conversation. Calm down, dude. You're a grown-ass man. You're a grown man. Act like it. Travis, let me ask you questions without you losing your goddamn mind. Have you seen any of the text messages? You're muted, Travis. You're going to have to unmute. And don't freak out. Just yes or no. This isn't a gotcha. Have you seen any of the text messages, Travis?
I haven't seen no, but I'm not
going to. Okay, so then let me give you some advice. I would say go watch the press conference and see what's been released because hold on, brother. Oh, there he goes. Travis, calm down, dude. There are publicly available text messages. There are text messages that have been released. Not all of them are private, Travis. So why haven't you read them?
Because they're not real. Everything. Oh, you believe?
How do you know they're not real? Wait, how do you know they're not real?
So why is the guy not arrested?
Wait, how do you know they're not real? How do you know they're not real, Travis?
If you've seen them, let's be real. If you've seen them and they're real, why ain't the guy indicted? Why ain't he arrested?
Well, first of all, there's charges against him already.
He's out on
really? He's out on
bail. What was his bond set at?
No, he's not out on bail. I didn't say he's out on bail.
Oh, he's in prison. So he's in jail waiting to be seen right now. Then, right?
That's not how our justice system works.
He's in jail. I know how our justice system works, buddy. He's in jail. Yeah.
Wait, if you're charged with something, do you go to jail?
Yeah. You go to jail until you get bond.
Wait, then explain. Wait, so why is Donald Trump not in jail? Wait, why is Trump not in jail? He has 91 indictments. Why is he not in jail?
He went through the magistrate, and the magistrate let him go with no bond. What do you mean? Why did the other guy from Georgia go to jail?
There you go again, Travis.
The black guy, the only black guy behind Trump, go to jail in Georgia.
Calm down, sweetheart. Calm down, sweetheart. Travis, calm down, sweetheart.
I'm telling you the truth right here, and you're not even listening.
No, you're not. Donald Trump posted bail, you idiot.
That's exactly what I said. You posted bail.
You said there was no bail.
There wasn't no bail on most of his charges. Then that one in Georgia.
Okay, but is he out on bail?
Oh my God, man! Is
he out on bail, Travis?
Yes, in Georgia.
Okay, then what are you talking about?
And that's what I asked you about the guy. I said, why is he not been arrested? And you said he has been. I was like, then he's in jail. You said, no. Dude, you're trying to twist
Travis,
my arm.
Travis, do you have any interest in having a discussion, or do you just
I have
want to let all your feelings out? Okay, let's have a discussion then.
Let's have one.
Okay, I'm trying to, Travis, but every time I ask you... Travis, calm down. Hold on! Travis, let's set some ground rules, you psycho. Let's set some ground rules. Travis, calm down. Calm down, dude. Your heart's not going to taste. Let's set some ground rules, Travis. I'll let you ask me a question. I'll answer it, and then I get to ask you a question. And you have to answer my questions. You can't answer with a question. You can't change it. And I'll answer your questions. Is that fair?
Fair.
Go ahead. Ask your question.
What's the guy's name that you so claimed from? I mean, I don't even care about this whole movie thing. I mean, I know all that shit. I want to know. But I'm upset just because it's simple. I don't like you personally because the way you talk to the way you lying to the American people.
What am I lying about? Let's talk about what I'm lying about, Travis.
What am I? What do you? First, you told the one guy Trump's going to jail. I mean,
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You said he's going to prison. You said
no, I didn't.
Vote for a man
no, I didn't. Travis, hold on. Hold on. Everybody that watches me daily knows I've never said that. In fact, what I said to David is if he's guilty and goes to prison, you'll still support him. That's what I said.
He was just found guilty with this crazy hack lady.
Your MAGA friends are not going to like you for saying guilty. What they want you to say is they want you to say civilly liable.
No, he was found guilty by that judge.
He was found liable. He's found liable. That's what happens in a civil case.
It was a civil case, yes.
Okay,
so
what did I lie about?
That's the same thing as
okay. So what did I lie about, Travis?
But
what did I lie about?
What do you mean?
You said I'm lying to the American people. I'm just asking you what I lied about.
You were just telling them that Trump's not going to be on the ticket because he was going.
I didn't say that.
One guy had rape charges.
Travis, I didn't say that.
The movie Sound of Freedom. I forgot about the movie. Let's go back to the movie.
Travis,
I'm all over the place.
Yeah, I know you are. And look, that's why I'm trying. Travis, brother. I promise you, I'm trying to have a good faith discussion with you.
All right,
I'm not trying to yell over you.
I know,
I'm doing my best. But Travis, I do think you got a little emotional, and you're saying things that I didn't say. I never said he wasn't going to be on the ticket.
Okay, well,
I didn't say he was going to jail. Okay. I think what you're upset about is that I'm on the opposite side, and you're assuming that I'm lying. So that's what
honestly,
I'm just, man to man, Travis. Like let's pretend this was a Travis. Let's pretend this was a face-to-face conversation.
We're sitting in a car. I already punched you in the mouth because you won't let me speak. Yes, exactly.
I'm asking you questions, Travis.
You're like, calm down.
Oh, God bless you, Travis.
The other guy had a lot more patience than I have, man. I'm a real man. You say weak man.
What did I lie? What did I lie about, Travis?
But number one, about the Sound of Freedom guy in jail. What's his name?
What did I lie about?
Let's look it up then.
Tim Ballard?
No, Tim Ballard. Jail. Let's see.
I didn't say he went to jail.
Tim Ballard charged with rape, right? Tim Ballard charged with rape.
Sexual assault, I believe.
Okay, let's look it up. Tim Ballard charged with sexual. Yeah, you got to look it up first. Now let's see.
No, I'm pulling up the same thing you are.
All right, let's go.
Are you upset that people fact check? Does that make you mad?
Railroad founder Tim Ballard violently sexually assaulted his former assistant. Oh wow, and also accused of leaders.
Oh wow, what? Oh wow, what?
I'm trying to see where this.
What do you mean? Oh wow! Right when you said that he sexually assaulted his assistant, then you said, "Oh wow." What does that mean?
Salt Lake Tribune is where was
are you capable of answering questions?
Well,
Travis?
I was trying to read. Yes, I'm capable of answering.
Okay, so when I ask you a question, would you mind answering? We agreed to this earlier. Yeah, you agreed that we're going to answer questions.
Yeah,
when you read that part, when you read that, Travis, in order for me to get my question out, you're going to have to stop talking for a second. Okay, so Travis, calm down, sweetheart. Travis, the rage is boiling again. Travis,
liberal, but you're
Travis, you.
Damn, you're one.
Travis, calm down, brother. Calm down. When you brought up that his assistant accused him of violently sexually assaulting her, and then you laughed. Why did you laugh at that? You're muted, Travis. My mods had to mute you for a second. Now, would you mind answering that question? I'm just trying to get I'm giving you an opportunity to share your opinion. Why'd you laugh at that, Travis?
I laughed at that because I can pull up crazy shit on the internet. I mean, most of it's not real. They're trying to.
How do you know? Okay, but why did you laugh? How do you know this one's not real?
We don't. That's the thing. But I know.
Okay, so then what are you so upset about, Travis?
You do not know the girl. I know that for a fact. You're pushing.
I 100%. Listen, Travis, I 100% know the girl.
I don't even know the girl, but I know you don't know her.
Well, you're wrong about that, Travis.
Man, no one's wrong about that. You push lies to these people.
You want me to?
Dude, whatever,
I have the.
Man.
Yeah, no. Where's I'm looking for my second phone. There it is.
Right. But I thought it was
Travis,
text messages.
Travis, hold on real quick.
Bodily sexual assault.
Before you keep, Travis, before you keep going, I worked with groups that worked with Operation Underground Railroad. I'm from Utah. And I worked in the, I was a Republican that held office in Utah. I know all the players in Utah.
So you held office.
And I know this person. This is somebody I dated. So I'm sorry that you don't like that, but this is I'm sorry that you know who I was just as shocked as you when I didn't know anything about this, and then I saw the video and I was like, holy shit. Yeah. And then I messaged her. But I mean, I said specifically, hey, I don't want to use your name. I won't even share your story if you don't want me to. This is a big story on my live. I'll share whatever you want me to share.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. So my another point about all of this shit. So all of a sudden everybody wanted to push a narrative, and then they pushed Tim Ballard sexually assaulted or sexually whatever. It's the same thing with Deshaun Watson with the Texans. As soon as he said he didn't want to play on the Texans no more, all these girls that were masseuse for the Texans came out.
What did he
try to take Deshaun Watson sexually assaulted him? It's like
Travis, buddy.
Money. I'm just
Travis, buddy. Travis, buddy. First of all, Tim Ballard and Deshaun Watson have nothing to do with each other.
Man,
Hold on, Chief.
Big money,
Travis. You gotta stop for a second, please.
Dude, man,
for the love of God, you gotta let me get sentences out. All right, Jen, you're gonna have to mute him, I guess. I don't know. He has no impulse control. Travis, it seems that no matter who gets accused of sexual assault, you're going to take the side of the abuser. And that's the real problem here. And you're showing that. You don't know anything about Tim Ballard. You don't know anything about the woman that I know. You don't know Deshaun Watson. You don't know those stories. But you are absolutely convinced that all of these men are innocent. And I think that says a lot more about you and how you view women than it shows anything else.
I'm a bigot now, right? I'm a bigot, racist. I mean, anything you're gonna.
I was thinking misogynist at this point.
Yeah, misogynist.
Yeah, no, Travis, 100% explain to me, Travis, if in every case, if you take the side of the man, what do you not think it's a fair criticism to say maybe you're a misogynist?
No, not at all. People that know.
No, not at all. So why do you think, so what do you think's happening then? Why do you think these people are all being accused of things?
I mean, like I said, big money will move whatever it has to do with it. Yeah.
Well, Deshaun Watson. The Deshaun
Watson case.
Do you think that, do you think that there was a political motivation
100%
to take down Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, as soon as he wanted to be traded, all of a sudden, all these girls come in with all these accusations. You know what I'm saying? It's like funny how things like that happen. You know,
it's hilarious.
It is, man.
It's so funny.
It's
so
crazy.
funny.
I'm not saying he didn't. You know, but maybe
so funny.
Maybe
sounds like you're saying he didn't. What were the accusations against him? Did you read any of the testimony of the people that, or any of the interviews of the people that accused him? I'm asking a question, Travis. Travis, wait till the end. Travis, you're a grown man, and you cannot let other men.
And I promise you wouldn't talk to me like this in front of me, though.
Travis, I would talk to you like this in person, 100%. I'm not afraid to be punched in the face, but it goes a lot to show you that the fact that I'm asking you to let another human finish a sentence and you get so raged that you want to fight says that your brain is tiny. Tiny. Like, you are 100% emotion. You're the most emotional person I think I've ever spoken to. You run on emotion. You are just emotion. Get it together, dude.
I got it.
Get it together.
I'm together.
Get it together, Travis.
I got it together.
You're okay, there we go. That's better. That's a better tone.
That's right.
That's all right. Do you want to have a discussion now?
I just suck my pride. I'm like, you talk to me like shit. No big deal.
Yeah, you should suck your pride up. That's what real men do. They check their pride and they have real discussions.
That's true.
Not you. You just want to be angry. What are you so angry about, Travis? Why are you mad at me? What did I do that makes you so angry?
I'm the way you you belittle without trying to. You think like you have the one up, and you're just such a smart. Just look at your little smirk, your smile. It's just it just makes people nauseous. Probably.
So it makes you mad when I have facts to back things up? Is that what you're saying?
Facts. I mean, there's no facts. I don't believe nothing online. Number one, especially
that's a convenient. Well, that's convenient for you because then you don't ever have to read anything.
Right, exactly.
I don't accept any evidence except for my feelings. I only listen to my feelings. My name's Travis, and I have big feelings.
Yeah, if I saw the actual text messages, I'd probably believe it. You claim to see it, so I mean, let your fans believe that you saw them.
I'm not going to put a woman in jeopardy, and I'm not going to go back on a promise not to show them. Why would I do that?
You can redact the names, man.
No, I'm not gonna. No, you already admitted. Like, you don't put this out before it's the court case. That's why she asked me not to share it. We had a whole conversation, and I told her, I said, go back through the conversation, and let me know. And hold on, can I explain, Travis, without you throwing a fit?
I mean, go ahead.
Calm down, dude. Calm. I asked her what I can and can't share, and she told me what I can and can't share, and I'm going to respect that.
All right, I'm going to ask you this question. Are you paid by the Democratic Party?
I'm not. I wish I was. I would absolutely take their money if they wanted to pay me.
How many followers do you have? Like 88.3 thousand. That just from this? How does this work? Even TikTok?
No, I have like those are likes. Those are likes. I have 25,000 followers on my main account. This is my backup account. I think this has somewhere around like 8,000 accounts.
Why do you have a backup account? Yours gets shut down like everybody on
Yeah, TikTok shuts you down for some crazy shit. Mine's really wild. Like, I was shut down. My main account got shut down for basically like trafficking in goods that they're not allowed. Like, I don't sell anything, so it's a bizarre ban. But TikTok's algorithm finds some weird shit and bans people. So.
Yeah, I guess because you don't sell shit from the TikTok shop, I guess they get mad. I think that's what this whole thing turned into. They got everybody on the lives, and now the lives are pushing to sell. It's crazy. But anyways, we're not talking about that. I was just curious.
We're not, Travis. So but let's do this, Travis. Let's get on the same page here.
Let's do it.
I host a show every single day, Monday through Friday, for 3.5 hours. And my number one goal is to only talk to Republicans. That's it.
Okay. Great.
I want to have these discussions because I think they're important. The problem that I run into is that, like, the fact that I exist and I have a different opinion than you, it makes you so mad that we can't have a discussion.
It doesn't, man. What makes me mad is when I start to answer your question, even though like you're not finished yet, but I already know what you're going to answer. You're like, you try to talk before and you're doing that.
You're mad at me for interrupting you because you interrupted me?
No, but you're doing it on purpose. So, like, I can't speak. You know, you get me frustrated.
Travis, then have a little bit of self-control. Have like an ounce of self-control and let me finish my question.
But I already know what you're asking.
I don't care. Travis, there's 1,100 people here watching. They are watching for a reason. They want to hear the questions.
I understand. This is my first time.
Okay, well then just let me ask the questions. It's crazy what you're upset about.
1.1 thousand people that probably don't know what you're going to ask. So I need to let you finish so we can.
Yeah, Travis, that's correct. That's how conversations work.
Yeah, I got it. I know how to have a conversation.
So Travis,
but like,
what is your big gripe with me then?
If it was just me and you talking about something other than the political shit, we would just be talking and I would interrupt you. It'd be no big deal. I'd be like, oh yeah, ain't that crazy?
Bro, if you talk to me like this all the time, I wouldn't want to be your friend. I wouldn't want to talk to you that often.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't talk to you like this all the time because we probably be your friend. I wouldn't want to talk to you that often. I wouldn't talk to you like this all the time.
You got a nasty echo, dude. I don't know if you had a phone call come in. Let me see what's in the box. Let me see what my mod's saying. You may have to drop and come back. Travis, I'll give you a chance to drop and come back. Yeah, you got an echo, dude. I'm hearing myself in your echo. Let me check here. Jen, do we have any other opposition in the box? You can bounce and come back, Travis. We can have a discussion, but I'm going to need you to have more of a discussion. Unless your mic's working. Is your mic working now?
I don't know.
Let's see if I'm talking. Yeah, it's an echo. You're going to have to drop, dude.
I don't know. All right.
Who knew that dropping David and bringing out somebody else like David would be the sane one? Who saw that coming? Like, I see you guys in the box. I'm only taking opposition right now, just so we're clear on that. So I'm just trying to guess from the profile pictures, the tough guess. If you're opposition and you're in the box, please just let the mods know. I see a power team, but just let the mods know if you're opposition there. That was wild. Whoa, that was wild. No more of either. My picture's lagging? Am I frozen for everybody? Or is it just some people? Am I frozen for everybody? This. Did that fix it? Fix it? Could be a lag. Better. Freezing off. I don't know what to tell you. Let me check my Wi-Fi should be good. All right, we're better. Okay, we'll get back to the stories. I don't know what that was about. Obviously, when numbers get higher, you'll wind up with more moderation bots. Sometimes that slows things down. I hope you guys got a lot out of that. Like I said, Traps, you're welcome to come back if you want to have a real conversation. But that was wild. That's just people being angry for no reason. Frozen again. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know. Great. Let's go to man, I'm getting the glitch too. This is wild. Let's do this. I really don't want to. All right, I'm off the Wi-Fi. Did that fix anything? Try not to make so many odd faces. Picture's just frozen. Did that fix it? I got off the Wi-Fi. Just the picture's lagging. Better. All right, look, I'm just sorry. It may just be like this for a while. Again, if you're opposition in the box, I'd love to discuss it. Let me see. I'm asking Power Team. Again, I see you. Power Team. If you are opposition, please message Jen or just say, like, I'll watch right now. Just say that you're opposition. But I'm trying to bring up opposition there. Somebody, Jen and mods, will you look for what was it? Power Team. All right, so people are saying open it, close it, and open it back up. There you go. There you go, Power Team. There's Jen. She'll let you know. Felice needed a day off. She's her dad's not feeling well. She takes care of her dad, so she couldn't be here today. Let's go to where was this? Here was an interesting one. This was an interesting decision that came out of Delaware. Now, lots of companies will incorporate in Delaware because they're friendly for tax purposes. One of those companies is Twitter, and Twitter was in court in Delaware about a 2018 compensation package for Elon Musk. Delaware Chancery Court Chancellor Kathleen McCormick, who oversaw the bench trial that concluded in 2022, ruled Tuesday that Elon Musk and the Tesla board bore the burden of proving that the compensation plan was fair, and they failed to meet their burden. Basically, Musk's compensation was a 303 million split-adjusted stock options that today are worth $51 billion. And that's using Tuesday's closing price, the less the modest exercise price of $23.34 a share. So the argument here was essentially that the board's compensation, like there were targets, there were stretch goals for Elon Musk to hit. And if those stretch goals were hit, then he would get a certain amount of shares as his compensation. What the court has ruled is that because this is a publicly traded company, you have to justify that not only were the stretch goals met, but that the stretch goals were actually stretch goals. This is for Tesla. Sorry, I might have said Twitter. It's for Tesla. The stretch goals were something that were going to be hard to hit, and that you can show that
open borders and puberty blocking and trans kids and pushing gay agenda in classrooms. And as far as the needle goes, New York just announced maybe you should open your doors and let some of these immigrants come live with you. So how far does the needle go where you say, this is my party and this is who I represent? As Republicans say, let's hold on to the thing that has worked for over 100 years and is working before things get out of hand. So where do you stand?
My response to that would be that, unfortunately, your view of what Democrats stand for, what we advocate for, is just untrue. It's like patently false.
Everything I said was untrue.
Yeah, those are not things that we push or stand for.
I'm just letting it. So Democrats.
Democrats
push puberty blocking. Let's go 1 through 1.
Yeah,
do they push puberty blockers for children?
No. What? See, this is where we have the disconnect. And as a former Republican, I worked on campaigns. I understand how and both parties do this, but they frame each other's beliefs incorrectly. What our belief is with puberty blockers is that we believe that decision should be between the parents, the doctor, and the children. That's our belief. Our belief is that the government should not be involved in that at all. That the government has no right to tell a child whether or not they can be put on puberty blockers. No right. Do you think the government should be involved in that decision?
I think children should not have that happen to them.
I know, but that's not the question I asked, right? The question I asked is, do you think the government should be involved in that decision?
In stopping doctors from doing that?
Yeah, in prescribing puberty blockers? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, because that should.
So what about the people that need puberty blockers?
Oh my God, dude, come on.
Do you not know that? Wait, you understand that puberty blockers aren't just for treating trans people, right?
Are you about to give me a 0.067% of some human population that has to get some puberty blocking for some strange ailments that they're going through as a child?
Yeah, so should we ban drugs because it's only for... Wait, hold on. Do you think we should ban drugs because they're only for a small population?
No, that's why they
what's the problem
weigh the
then?
options. They go, oh, this child has a problem, so we'll allow this. We don't just open it up to doctors who may enjoy your side of your theories and go with you. Because you say, oh, it's the doctors. But what if the doctors...
Theories? What theory? What theory?
What if the doctor is more pro-LGBTQIA-RSWXYZ and agrees that the child, that child's the wrong gender. So now it's not to uphold the oath they took to preserve every life and make things better. It's their opinion.
Hold on. Wait, hold on. Do children not have the right to self-identify?
I could talk a child that it's part kangaroo if it's under the age of 15.
See, this is... Look, let's be honest. Hold on. Let's be honest here. And let's have a real conversation. What you're doing is I'm trying to explain to you that your view of what we believe is wrong. I'm telling you what we believe, and you keep making. When I ask you a simple question,
I stand on my ground.
You go to I could convince a child that they're a kangaroo. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about legitimately people.
You're saying your child says something and you believe it.
No. Again, see, I didn't say that either. See, this is the problem. You have a set of beliefs, and in order, hold on. Don't cut me off when I'm talking, please. I just did this with the last MAGA. I don't know what it is about MAGA, but they do not like letting people finish sentences. I believe that it is the right of the parent and the child to determine, and the doctor, to determine what medical care is best for them. And you, not a doctor, me, not a doctor, my opinion doesn't matter, and either does yours. The only opinion that matters is the doctor and the parent. And we have laws in this country. So if you're worried about a doctor going rogue and a kid coming in and the doctor just convincing them that they're trans and then putting them on puberty blockers, we have laws. Those are malpractice laws. Those already exist. We already have protections against rogue doctors. So if your concern is rogue doctors, don't worry about it, dude. We already have laws for that.
Okay. But it does happen, I would think, some, and some don't report the laws.
Could you give me an example?
No, because I'm not Google. I'm a human being who lives his life.
Why do you assume? Why do you assume that?
Because you've got to agree that at some percentage, when they're trying to get a movement going and everything's real tight, that someone's going to have to break a little bit of a line.
Here's the problem in your thought process. You've been told by right wingers that this is a movement, that we want more trans people. No, we want people to be who they are. We want everybody to have the same ability to self-actualize and self-identify. That's all we want. We want the same freedoms for everybody, even if you think that their very existence is icky.
What age do you think a child could make this kind of decision?
Which decision? To be on puberty blockers?
It's in the wrong gender.
What do you mean that it's in the wrong excuse me, it's in the wrong gender? What do you mean by that?
Well, puberty blocking would stop. I mean, it would sort of help to probably transition at some point. I don't know the percentage of people who puberty block.
Mostly what it does is it buys time. That's mostly what puberty blockers do.
Buys time to figure it out.
Yeah, buys, and during that
before
time
you even become into it. Do you know what that sentence means?
What do you mean before you even come into it? What are you talking about?
Become into puberty. So before you become into the thing you're scared of becoming, which you've never even experienced it, because that's what puberty is, bringing you into manhood or womanhood.
That's not how this. Listen, you're not a doctor, and I'm not a doctor, and I'm not going to listen. Hold on. Are you a doctor?
Don't give me that shit.
No, wait, hold on. You don't think it's important that experts be the ones that talk about this? Who gives a shit about what you and I have to say about the options? Wait, who gives a shit about what you and I have to say about the medical process? Neither one of us are qualified for that.
Hopefully,
neither one of us are. Wait, hold on. Neither one of us are qualified for that, right?
I don't know. We're qualified.
You don't know. You don't know if you're qualified to be a doctor.
We're qualified to have a damn conversation about it. I promise you.
Yeah, but not about things that we don't understand.
Wrong. Okay? We do understand it. That's where you go wrong.
No,
you act like
don't.
I have to go to Harvard to understand this shit.
Because you just explained that you think puberty blockers are given before somebody enters puberty. It's not true.
What?
There's people are often already already started puberty, and the puberty blockers stop the puberty where it's at. You don't even understand when they're prescribed.
Happen after
you don't understand that they're prescribed all around the world. But the point is, I don't care about any of that. The only thing I care about is that the government is not involved in this decision.
I understand. Yeah, and
do you think you just think there's doctors and parents all over this country who want to harm their children? Is that what you think? You think leftists just want to harm their children?
I think it's all money, my friend. Money and emotion.
Money?
Yeah, money.
Well, why would if I pushed my kid into being trans, I would get money?
No, the doctor would. You have to pay him for the surgery.
First of all, the doctors prescribing these aren't the people who perform the surgery, so you don't know.
Well, either way, they're prescribing.
Well, either way, no, wait. You said it's about money. You made a dumb fucking claim that it was about the surgery, and then I showed you it's not the same doctor, and you said either way.
Well, they both make money. Am I wrong?
No, not either way. No, the doctors are there, and specifically when you're talking about a child who's struggling because they're trans, you're talking about therapists, you're talking about psychiatrists, you're talking about people who are helping the child better understand themselves. You're not talking about a surgeon. Surgeons aren't the ones that are making these decisions. So when you say it's about money, that's the problem.
Paying a doctor for pills.
You add this money motive because you can't answer the question.
What's the
question?
My
question was, do you believe doctors and parents are out there purposely trying to hurt their children? And you said it's about money, and that didn't make sense.
No, not hurt. In their eyes, it's good. In their eyes, it's good.
Oh, so you think that parents all over this, liberal parents all over this country want their kids to be on puberty blockers? Is that
We've seen the videos, buddy?
I'm asking you a question. Stop running from the answers. I'm asking you a question. We've seen the video. Dude, there's 350 million people in this country. We've seen the videos. Is you just saying I only listen to propaganda? I'm asking you a question.
Propaganda isn't some fake AI video.
Do you think liberal parents just want to force their kids onto puberty blockers? Is that what you think?
Yes.
Why? Why do you think I'm a liberal parent? I don't want to force my kid onto puberty blockers.
Okay, I can answer.
Why do we want to force our kids onto puberty blockers?
Absolutely.
Not absolutely. I said why.
I was going to answer.
Why do we want to put our kids on puberty blockers?
Can you take a fucking Coke and a smile?
Why do we want to put our kids on puberty blockers?
Because you might think they're trans.
Wait, I don't think my child's trans.
Have you asked them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My child's allowed to identify however she wants. Yeah.
But so how old is your child?
She's 4.
She's 4.
Yeah.
So I asked a question a long time ago. At what age do you think they could start understanding this idea of gender, of being in the wrong gender? Just in your own head.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I haven't studied this. Have you? Have you done extensive studies on this?
No, I just didn't know.
Okay, then I don't care what your opinion is.
Okay, so but
I don't care what my opinion is, and I don't care what yours is. Neither one of us is educated enough for this conversation.
We can still have a conversation about it.
No, I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested because the problem is that there's real people out there.
Opened up your TikTok today.
Wait, there's real people out there who like they deserve a voice and they deserve a qualified voice. Like if they're not going to be the one speaking, they deserve somebody who knows what they're talking about to speak about it. And that's not me, and it's clearly not you.
Well, then we should only have fucking doctors up here, genius. Why are we on TikTok?
Great, let's get some doctors up here, genius. You're the one that brought up the conversation. We can talk about things that you and I are qualified to talk about.
The conversation.
Like what? Why are you afraid of trans people? Is the real question.
That's where you guys go to. Like we're scared of it.
What's wrong with trans people? What's wrong with trans people? What's wrong with trans people? What's wrong with trans people?
Go to the children.
What's wrong with trans people?
You go to the kids every fucking time.
What's wrong with trans people?
You want to read stories.
What's wrong with trans people?
Become trans.
What's wrong with trans people?
Just
what's
live your
wrong
life.
with trans people?
What are you, a fucking...
What's wrong with trans... Yeah, I don't care about... Yeah, I'm asking you a question, and I'm going to keep asking it until you answer it. This isn't an opportunity for you to soapbox. What's wrong with trans people?
They want to push their shit on kids. They don't want to just live their lives.
Okay, fair enough. When you say push their shit on kids, what are you saying they want to push?
Being straight on kids
What do you mean they want to push? Okay. Are you sure about that? You sure we haven't pushed people being straight?
Yeah.
Talk to me about every Disney movie that has existed.
Okay, well that's changing. It's failing.
It's not propaganda it's not propaganda when it's something you like, right?
But it's not like
for
North
as
Korean
long as we've had movies that are like
pushing
you have heterosexuality.
To like a girl.
You remember Ellen DeGeneres lost her TV show because she came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Then she got
what do you mean
way
you
more
guess?
fucking famous from it.
Yeah, and you know why? It was the same argument that you're making. People were like, "Oh, well, Ellen DeGeneres can't be on TV because she's pushing her agenda." All she was saying is, "I'm gay." Somebody existing and talking about the fact that they exist is not pushing an agenda. And me being supportive of them is the same way I'm supportive of Christians. Like if somebody says, "I believe in a sky daddy," great. As long as you don't promote legislation that will actively hurt me, you can believe whatever you want.
One thing I have seen, a lot of people have seen these videos. Well, let's just talk about it for a second. And there's
talk about what? I asked you a question that you still haven't answered.
Hold on, let's not do that.
Not hold on. No. I'm muting you now.
What's the question?
Shut up. No, listen. This is not an opportunity for you to run this platform. If you want a platform where you want to control the conversation and talk about trans kids, go ahead. But I asked you a question. I said, what's wrong with trans people? You said they push themselves on us. I gave you multiple examples of heterosexuals pushing their agenda, Christians pushing their agenda. Where's your energy for that?
That's been working for the world to keep people having children and moving on in the world. If you're gay, you're gay. Trans people can trans people can have children. Okay, what I'm saying is whether we push.
Okay, well there goes that one. So what is it? Wait, hold on. Let's talk about that. I said, what's your problem? Like, what's your problem with them showing that they exist? And you said, oh well, it's an agenda. I showed you the heterosexual agenda. You said, oh well, that's for kids. Well, trans people can have kids. So we're gonna go backwards now, and I need you to come up with a different reason. All right, I need you to have a different explanation of why it's okay to push a heterosexual or Christian agenda, but not to stand up and be like, hey, I'm trans and I'm proud of it.
Because in schools, we don't teach thousands of different pronouns, or we just teach the subjects, as we always have for the past 50 years, pretty much.
Wait, hold on. We've always taught pronouns in schools. I realize Republicans don't know what a pronoun is, but we all learned pronouns in schools. What are you talking about? What?
We haven't had hours and weeks of classroom time on it. There
aren't hours and weeks of classroom time on it now either. But if
Yes,
you're going
there
to
is,
learn it,
man.
if you're
Yes,
going to
there is.
introduce, but if you're going to introduce new things and new ideas, then sometimes it will, like, initially you're going to have to spend more time on it. It's
So
true.
you just admitted here on your wonderful platform that you're cool
you.
with some teachers telling your fucking child about some new stuff going on in the world.
I'm 100% okay with
Wow.
teachers at my child's school recognizing that trans people exist and that sometimes they use different pronouns. And I am not comfortable with my daughter being 4 years old with them explaining any part of any reproductive system, regardless of the gender, sex, or sexuality of the person. That stuff is like, I'm cool with that when it's age
don't talk
appropriate. But when it's
biology.
when it's time for my daughter to learn sex ed, I think it's appropriate that at the same time trans kids are taught sex ed and everybody learns it together. I don't understand the idea that, like, somehow it's okay to teach trans kids heterosexual sex ed, but it's not okay to teach heterosexual kids, or excuse me, cisgender, I always mix that up, cisgender kids about trans sex ed. Right?
I don't think there should be any
Why is
sexual
only one
education
allowed to
in
be taught?
school.
Why is only one allowed to be taught?
I don't know, man.
Because you think it's icky. That's why. Be honest. You don't like it. That's your argument always boils down to I don't like it.
You want to show men and trans people hooking up, and talk about sex ed to the kids, just like we would with straight people?
First of all, I don't want my child viewing, like, I don't think that
That's what I'm saying. Do you want
hold
any
on,
sex
hold
ed
on,
in
hold
the
on.
school?
I haven't finished. I don't want my child to be shown graphic images of sex at school. Period. I don't care
agree.
what kind of sex it is. I don't want that. However, I have seen the books that you guys love to ban, and those aren't taught in school. Those are in school libraries. And I'm 100% comfortable with my child, when it's age appropriate, bringing home that book, reading it, and asking me questions about it. Yes, I'm comfortable with that.
Okay.
There's no reason why my daughter can learn about heterosexual sex ed, cisgender sex ed, and not learn about sex ed for gay or lesbian people or for trans people. Like, none of that matters to me. I think every person should be represented. So if you have a problem with graphic images being shown to children, I support you with that. I'm on your side there. But you can't only be outraged if it's graphic depictions showing somebody who's gay, or who's trans, or who's lesbian.
Man, because we've never denied that gay is a thing, I think, in life.
Bad news, dog. When I was first of all, I was a Republican, and I ran campaigns, and I worked with Republicans every day who said the same shit. Being gay is a choice. It's a choice, and the devil is leading you there, and we cannot promote it, and it can't be in schools, and we can't have gay marriage. Republicans have been on this side of everything. You guys are afraid of change. That's really the reality.
No, it just freaks us out that it keeps going.
Okay, then why did they use the same arguments for gay marriage? Same exact arguments.
And that's another thing we wonder. Why do you want to be a part of our Christian marriage?
Why did they use the same exact arguments?
What do you mean?
Same exact arguments against gay people. We don't have a problem
trying to get married.
Just don't tell it to our kids.
Yeah, because
don't wave it in our face.
Christian thing.
Don't wave it. Don't wave it in our face. Don't wave it in our face. That was the argument.
Well, I'm just curious why they want to be a part of something that doesn't like them in the first place.
Part of what?
The Christianity of marriage. Why do they want to take part of a ceremony that bans them?
Do you think Christians didn't invent marriage? Marriage in this country. Listen, if marriage was only between the church and the people, that's one thing. But marriage
why didn't they come up with their own?
I'm explaining. But marriage offers you legal protection.
Oh, it's all legal. I understand.
Yeah, so that's why everybody deserves the right to get married, no matter who they're attracted to, right? As long as it's not somebody who's underage.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with what genitals you're licking. I say let kids kind of figure out who they are, because 18 years is
Well,
not a
if you
lot
want
of
kids to
life.
figure out who they are, stop banning books.
What I mean is, I could lead a
Stop
kid
banning
down
education.
any road.
You're saying let kids figure out who they are, but don't
You just said you don't want
educate
graphic
but don't
images shown to
educate
your
but don't
kid if you know they're
educate
in
them.
school.
But don't educate them on who everybody is.
You just
let
said
kids
you
figure
don't-
out who they are, but only tell them about one specific group of people.
You just said you don't want your daughter to see graphic images, yet
Correct.
you found all those books with graphic images in public
Wait, hold
libraries.
on. I already
for
covered
kids.
this. Now
I
you're
know,
running. I already covered this.
But you didn't admit
Wait.
it. That they
I
were
already covered this.
there
Hold on.
going against
Hold
what
on.
you didn't.
Can you show me an example of one of those books that was taught in the classroom?
No, they don't teach it in the classroom. But
Okay,
it's
then
there.
I don't care.
So your daughter.
Why would I
could
care
grab
if
it.
it's not
Your
taught in the
daughter could grab
classroom?
it while you're not looking.
What's that?
Your daughter could grab the book while you're not looking.
No, see, because as a parent, it's my responsibility to know what is available to my children. And if there are books in the
You're
library,
not.
and by
How
the
would
way,
you know?
because the schools make that
1,000 books
available.
in
That's they have a list. You can, as a
You're gonna
parent, you
sit
can
down
go
and
through the
just go
list
through
of the books.
list of 28,000 books in the public.
Well, I'm sorry that you're a lazy fucking parent.
Oh,
That's not
come
on me. That's
brother.
on you. Be a
Come
better
on,
parent.
bro.
No, be a better parent. Oh, we might have to do a little bit of homework. Oh
Okay,
no, for
okay.
us.
I would love to hear you
Crybaby.
name
Be a
the-
better parent. I don't know
So
what to
you
tell
go
you.
through the 20,000 books and you read them all and make sure they're clean, right?
You don't read them all, dude. What are you talking about? Do you know how many books I would immediately be able to rule out
trying to
like
understand how you
99%
know
of the
what
books?
books are good
It's
or
not.
bad.
It's not. I don't know if you think it's just a list in alphabetical order. It's categorized, right? And it's categorized also by like rating, like who the books are appropriate for. So I can go through all the books that are appropriate for my kid's age. Like if my daughter's 4, I'd say my daughter's not allowed to check out a book under the age, like if it's six and above, I don't want her checking out those books. And then there's a restriction on her account. Right, but
when she becomes
those books,
10,
the books you're talking about were for people like 16 and up. And I read those. I went and I looked at those books. I looked at all of them, and like as uncomfortable as
Dude, there was
it
a
is
lot
to
of
teach your
bunch of-
kids, as uncomfortable as it is to teach your kids about sex ed, like that's an age appropriate time. Kids start having sex at a young age.
I
So
don't
they need to
deny
be
that.
educated. And I've looked, the more you educate your kids, the better your kids are at making decisions. So if they know, the more that they know about their sexuality, the less likely they are to be abused. The less likely they are to get pregnant at an early age. The less likely they are to pick up an STD. Like
I'm gonna
education
stand
is
on this
key, and you
ground.
guys want us to not educate people.
Well, exactly. And I'm going to stand on exactly what you just said. I think what you don't think about as much and what you don't fill your mind up and your heart with constantly, gender, sex, and this, and genitals, and sex, and genitals.
My heart is filled with
Hold on,
blood.
let me finish. I've
No,
let
my
you
heart
rant
is
for
filled
like
with blood.
20 minutes. If you
Just so we
don't,
know.
if you don't fill your mind up with all this stuff going on, with all this trend and all this movement and all this, gay, and if you just live your life and maybe find out what you want to do in life, because trans is not a job and trans is not a career, and it becomes.
Well, then
a
why the
career.
fuck are you coming to my live when I'm talking about Republican men and bringing up the trans topic? Not once in all the time I've done this have I ever put up a trans topic. It's not, I don't revolve my life around it. I don't talk about it very often. In fact, the only time it's really ever coming up is if I'm interacting with somebody who is trans, because like I was raised in a way that I forget that there's more than just like two genders, right? So I'll often misgender somebody, or I won't use the correct pronouns. The only time I ever engage in any trans-related talk is when a Republican shows up who's pissed about it. You guys keep saying like it's my agenda, it's the left's agenda. We even introduced 0 articles of legislation about it. You
what
guys
could
are
you
like
legislate? We don't care that you turn
Republicans in
trans.
every state are just pumping out legislation, and then when we stand up and we're like, hey, you're attacking trans kids, you're like, oh, you guys have an agenda. We weren't fucking talking about it until you guys started taking away their rights.
We didn't know
We're
kids
just
were being
standing up for
fucking
trans
mutilated.
kids, and you're so indoctrinated and so poorly informed that you think this is an agenda. Our agenda is that everybody be given equal rights, that everybody have the opportunity to be treated the same way. And so when we stand up against your guys' bigotry, you have to create this bullshit narrative that this is what we want and this is what we're planning. No, we're responding to you.
I have seen a video of a mother and her child, I think the mother was trans or something. But as the child speaking,
good. Let's go more anecdotal evidence.
give me
Let's do
5
that.
seconds. As the child speaking about why it feels its gender is wrong, or the mother is mouthing the same words of the child that she had basically taught this kid some massive speech.
Wait, how do you know? How do you know that that's what the mother did? How do you know the mother taught the child that?
Because she was saying the same words. She was.
What if the mother has heard the child say that a million times and is agreeing with them?
I love your what ifs, man.
Yours is a what if, dude.
Yeah.
You're making an assumption of why that mother was mouthing things, dude. Your entire belief system is just fucking propaganda, dude. And I'll ask it again. What is your problem with trans people? And secondary question, why are you following so many young girls on your account?
Why? You're the second person to say that.
Yeah, dude, you're a walking red flag.
You guys are fucking weird, man.
I'm not the one following young girls. Why are you?
Young girls? I just see hot girls and press the follow button on my For You page.
How old are you?
I'm 40.
Yeah. And
do you think I contact them and say, "Oh, I love you and let's hang out"?
I would not be shocked at all. But either
I'm
way,
married.
that's
What
weird,
do you
man.
jerk off to? Old white women?
Trans people are not a danger to my child, but you are.
Because I jerk off to hot young girls. What do you jerk off to? Trans guys, or what do you like?
Hold on. Are you saying that the people you follow, then like that's what you're doing? You're following these young girls so you can.
No, but they're the same girls on P-Hub. So I'm just asking you, when you go to search for your little spank bank, what do you like?
What do you mean they're the same girls on P-Hub? Should we go through your list and see how many of them are on P-Hub?
Girls.
Oh no, you just hot slut. So you're just objectifying women. Like you're just a dirtbag, man. And no wonder you're a Republican, because there's protection for you in the Republican Party.
Dancing and acting hot. What are you talking about?
I'm doing what?
They're the ones flashing their shit and dancing and acting hot. How am I subjecting them? They are.
I don't know why you think that women dancing is like an invitation for you to objectify them. But again, that says a lot more. Like you are a danger.
Is this you in a strip club? You're
like I don't go to strip clubs. I don't go to strip clubs. I don't go to strip clubs. I've been to one strip club my whole life. It's not for me. I don't judge anybody who goes to strip clubs, but those are adults. That's consensual, and those women are literally dancing for money. There's an objective there. But what you do is you're taking any woman who's dancing and you're like, oh, this means I get to objectify them. Like, dude, you're gross.
Yeah, because they're good people.
No, you're gross. No, they probably listen.
Maybe
I have no
most likely.
You have hold on. You're following them and also judging them as bad people.
No, I'm not judging them at all. I'm looking at boobs and moving on with my life.
It doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound like you're moving.
I'm not going through people's. It sounds
like you're going a little
oh my god, this guy's looking at hot girls. He's a fucking predator. He's trying to get young girls.
Yeah,
that's the weird part, dude. Where you go.
It's not. This isn't the weird. No, the weird part is you admitting this and thinking it's normal. This is the weird part.
Men like
there's not a conservative woman in here right now that would defend you. Not one. There's not a woman who would defend you right now.
Men like young pretty girls.
There is nobody who would defend what you're saying right now.
We like old, ugly women.
It's called dude. Here's the problem. You don't understand what you're doing.
Women.
Yeah,
you meet them in a bar. You find out their hobbies.
So here's what happens to people.
Real relationships.
Here's what happens to people like you. Is that you didn't age, like you didn't grow up past a certain age. So you are still attracted to like the age of girls where your mental acuity is. And this is real. This is real science. So people who get older and continue to only be attracted to younger girls, like that's a real problem in their growth. That's something in their life has generally stunted their growth and stunted their ability to evolve. Like I'm 38 years old. I'm telling you right now, I have no interest in a 20-year-old girl, a 21-year-old girl.
Neither do I.
A 25-year-old girl. I'm not following them. I'm not liking their stuff. I'm not going on P-Hub. But you are. Like, it's because your brain, like something.
Are
in
you
your
married
life
or what's going on in your life?
Something has got you to the point in your life where you didn't age past that. That's why you're afraid of trans people.
I'm kind of like
that's
some
why,
guy in the basement. I'm a fucking dance teacher, buddy. I teach women to be women.
That's worse.
So I don't know what
that's worse. That makes this worse. That makes this worse. Like you're around women, they pay you to teach them something, and you sit here on the internet and objectify them. You're a dirtbag,
are you married?
Dude.
Do you have love in your life?
I do have love in my life. Thanks for asking. My personal life's not any of your goddamn business.
No, just love in your life. That's why I didn't ask any particulars. So yeah, I mean,
What's
that's
your
great,
point?
man. I hope that she does it for you all the time for the next 60 years. And
The people that I love, the women in my life, don't do things for me. Women are not objects for you to entertain you and to give you what you want. The mere fact that you even phrase it that way it just shows like you have no respect for women. None.
Attraction comes
women
into
don't
it a little
women
bit,
should
right?
the reason you think that is because that's likely the only way that you get it is out of obligation.
I'm married happily.
Yeah, and I'm sure happily. That's why you're following these old girls. Go get your wife real quick. Put her on here. Let's ask her about your follow list.
I swear to God, hand to God,
go grab her real quick.
Everything I do.
Just go grab her real quick. I just want to ask her.
She's at work, but I swear to God,
give her a call real quick. Yeah, sure she does. Sure she does. Give her a
course she does.
Let's get her on the phone. Let's ask her how she feels about your follow list. No, put her. Let's get her on the phone. Let's ask her how she feels about your follow list.
She sits by these lives all the time when I have these conversations.
There's no chance. Let's get her on the phone.
She's not here. She's at work.
I know people have cell phones, my friend.
I'm on the cell phone.
You don't have a second device? Okay, that's fair. Fair enough. Yeah. You're just a walking red flag, man. Conservative and liberal women alike look at people like you and they're like, gross.
I just find it interesting. You're walking down the street with your lovely daughter and your person that you love.
Lovely.
And a good-looking person comes walking by young, and you go, I am not going to look at that.
Dude. That's what normal fucking people do. When somebody walks by,
I'm not
you don't objectify them. That's what normal human beings do.
I'm going to hide beauty from my eyes.
Bro, you're objectifying. That's crazy. Yes, that's what normal people do. That's why women don't feel safe going out in public alone, because people like you think that like they are there for your entertainment. You're the problem. You are exactly the reason that like I have a problem specifically with Republican men. You're what I'm afraid of for my daughter.
I promise you, there are women who want men. There are women who want alpha men.
You're not a man, dude. You are a child masquerading as a man. I'm sure that there are women who are attracted to men like you, and that's fine. Women are attracted to all sorts of things, but you are a danger to women.
How am I a danger to them?
Yeah.
Because I might want to have sex with them?
Because you objectify them. Meaning, when a woman needs help, when a woman needs somebody to defend her, when a woman needs somebody to come to her side, you will choose the man. Like, I'm going to guess you think E. Jean Carroll is a liar, right?
On my page right now, my top video.
Do you think E. Jean Carroll's a liar?
On my video is E. Jean Carroll talking about the rape she had, and she said a lot of people think of R as sexy, and
what's the other part of that? What's the other part of that quote? What's the other part of that quote? What's the other part of that quote?
What do you mean?
Finish the quote.
The quote, yeah, I'm trying to. I don't remember the whole thing. She was like,
you only remember that part. What you don't remember is the part where she said, "What happened to me wasn't sexy." Wasn't sexual.
I don't know about that part. I remember.
That's you don't know that part of the quote. Shocker that Republican creep guy doesn't know that part of the quote. Doesn't know the part where she says like, "Yeah, some women are into this, but that's not what happened."
Go on my page right now and look at that top.
No, I'm asking you. I don't need to go on your page. You knew the first part of the quote. You didn't know the second part. If you
think that's a sane woman, you are on planet Pluto. That guy was trying to end that interview and save her butt on that interview.
Pluto's not a planet anymore. Pluto's not a planet.
You're good.
Pluto's not a planet.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you missed the part. The whole reason of the whole purpose of that quote was because people accuse women all the time, because there are plenty of women who like to simulate that, right? They want to be thrown, she said, thrown down and ravished. And for a lot of women, that's sexy. She's acknowledging that. She's saying, for a lot of people, like, those actions are sexy. That's not what happened to me.
I promise you, this is her
She says there was
quote.
Nothing sexual about what happened to me. But you left that part out.
Did you just hear what you said?
I wonder why you left that part out. I wonder why you left that part out.
Well, that goes in more for Donald Trump. That's more for him.
No,
nothing sexual happened.
Wait, but then she explains what did happen to her, and she explains
and it wasn't sexual.
Well, see, there's another problem with you, that you think being penetrated against your will is sexual. It's not.
So what happened to her?
She was penetrated against her will.
That's sexual.
This is the problem. You think that's sexual. That's the problem. It's violence. It's an act of violence.
So she's claiming Donald Trump had sex with her.
No. She actually does. You don't even know the claim, dude. This is you.
I'm not.
You're convinced. You're convinced that she's not sane. You're convinced that she's lying, and you don't even know the story.
I don't follow the whole fucking world, but
I know you only follow the part where it smears women. Shocker. You only know the part that smears women.
So tell me, is she claiming that Donald Trump raped her?
She claims that she was penetrated, but unfortunately, Donald Trump. It's hard to determine whether it was a digit or a phallus.
40 years ago.
Yep.
Wow, man. $83 million.
Yeah. Well, the 83 million was because he can't shut
One
the
of
fuck
your
up. That was for
ex-girlfriends.
defamation.
I know.
That was for defamation.
11 million.
That was for defamation.
Yeah. But
and I know that this is terrifying for you because I'm sure you can look back at your life and see some instances where you might have done something similar and you didn't realize that you needed consent. And so I realize that for you that's terrifying. But for normal people who wait for consent, that's not a scary thought. It's not a scary thought.
Okay, I've never forced myself.
But only to you. You literally were like, "Well, what if you had a girlfriend?" I don't have a girlfriend that's going to come forward and be like, "Hey, he penetrated me against my will."
Well, if you're really rich and
that.
they want some money and they see an opportunity to stop you from stopping abortion,
sure, and then he's on tape bragging about doing exactly what she accused him of. Shocking.
I don't know about that, but I know her second interview, she said, "I'm going to keep suing him."
When you're rich, you can do whatever you want. I just walk up to him and start kissing him, grab him by the blank. He was accused of just starting kissing her and grabbing her by the blank.
Okay. I mean,
yeah, that was the accusation. Hearsay. And by the way, there are people that verify that accusation long before the Access Hollywood tape ever came out. So explain how her accusation, explain to me why you don't believe somebody when their accusation perfectly matches something that Donald Trump admitted to when he was on a hot mic. He didn't know he was being recorded. Explain to me how she knew that Donald Trump was going to admit to that 30 years later.
Because he already said it on a hot mic.
Go ahead and explain that to me.
Because he already said it on a hot mic.
No, this happened. She had already talked to her therapist and friends on the record of what happened. What happened on the hot mic happened like 30 years later. So explain to me how 30 years before that ever happened on the hot mic, she was explaining this is what Donald Trump does. He just starts kissing you and grabbing you without your consent. And then 30 years later, he's on a mic saying, "I do this, but it's because I'm rich."
Yeah, he's pretty fucking
take that motherfucker's
powerful.
money every dime. Great. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with Donald Trump losing every dime he has.
Different levels
because not
of
only was he found liable of assaulting a woman, but then he's been lying about it and slandering her and doing the same shit that you're doing. You don't know anything about this case. You don't know anything about the case, but you're 100% sure that she's wrong.
Look, I've seen some videos.
You are
of
a danger
Trump.
to women.
Hold on. I know in the 80s, Donald Trump was very wanted by many women. When he would go out to clubs, a lot of women would try to.
You know who else was wanted by many women? You know who else was really wanted by a lot of women? Ted Bundy. In fact, as he was on his like third court case, there were women, you can find interviews of them saying like, "There's no way he's guilty." They were writing him letters, "I love you."
Yeah, Donald Trump.
But what did he do? Did he assault women? Sure did. Because the problem is with Donald Trump, and the flaw in your argument is, yes, there were women attracted to Donald Trump, whether it was his looks, his personality, his money, I don't fucking care. The problem is Donald Trump thinks because some women are attracted to him, that all women are. And because sometimes he went up and he did certain things and women didn't say shit, he thought he could do it to all women. He never learned a goddamn thing about consent. So Donald Trump thinks that it was her fault. It's everybody else's fault when he didn't learn how to get consent. Yes, I'm sure Donald Trump did this exact same thing to women who were cool with it. I'm sure there were some women in his life that were cool with it.
I would think so.
You could almost guarantee it. But it doesn't matter. He could do it 10,000 times to women who were cool with it, and it still doesn't make it right for the one woman who wasn't. See, your argument...
And there's 83 million
Your argument is you want... What?
I agree. You're right.
Okay, well that's the claim, and it seems to be backed up so much so that a jury of his peers ruled that he was civilly liable for it.
I don't doubt that.
Here you are shaming the woman. Were you in that room?
No, but I did.
So you don't know.
No,
so
anything could have happened, and it's
so you don't know. So then why do you think?
Why did it take so long to come out?
Why do you think that you only know the parts of the case that make her look bad, but you don't know the rest of the case. Why do you think that is?
Why did it take 30 years?
Why do you think you only know the parts of the case? Specifically on your TikTok, you cut out the part where she explained what she was talking about. You cut that out. Why do you think that is?
Because I didn't see it.
Yeah. Why do you think you didn't see it?
Because I don't follow it strongly enough.
Because you get your information from right-wingers who fucking lie to you and you eat it up. And you're not smart enough to figure out that, like, sometimes even the people you agree with lie to you, and you're gonna look stupid, but you don't care. You really don't, because all you want to do is attack women, attack trans people, and you're gonna walk away smiling like you are a dirtbag of a human being.
I guess so. I'm going to protect.
Yeah, I agree,
kids.
and I think
unfortunately,
for you, like, I think everybody agrees. I don't think anybody thinks you're a good person.
That's okay. I mean, we're all. At least I'm honest. You know, I could have lied and said I'm a Christian.
You're not honest.
I'm a good guy.
You're honest. You're honest about being dishonest.
Okay, I like that. Yeah. Thank you for this debate.
That's the crazy thing about this world is that, and especially in the MAGA movement, is that there are people like you who are comfortable going through life knowing that you're liars, knowing that you don't get all the information, knowing that you're smearing people without proof, and you think that's okay. You're like, I'm okay with the person I am. That's embarrassing, dude. Do you have children?
No, I can't.
Thank God. Thank God. That's terrific. Thank God. And stay away from other people's children, please. I would appreciate if you would just stay in your house and not talk to women ever again.
Don't do it. Stay in the house.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, raise your hand in the chat. Put a hand up if you think this guy should never speak to another woman again. Put your hand up in the chat. Watch this.
If my wife should divorce me, I should be alone.
Well, listen, if your wife is keeping you away from other women, I guess she can take one for the team. But look at the chat. Everybody here, dude, and this isn't like a W for me. I take no pride in the fact that people are saying this. What I don't understand is how you're looking at this, how you're looking at what people are saying, and you still think like, oh, I'm not going to change.
Because I'm just
going to keep being the same dirtbag that I am. I'm going to stand on this.
Yeah, I'm always going to
keep being this guy.
Enjoy beautiful women. I'm always going to want protection in my borders, want protection for kids, no matter all the shit. All right, well,
let's move on to the borders then. The Senate has passed a border deal that Republicans in the Senate are saying is a deal that they could never possibly get again. They're offering more border patrol, more people to process the asylum seekers, a hard cutoff at 5,000 people per day, where if more than 5,000 people show up in a day, or on average for a week more than 4,000 per day, then we shut down the border. Last month, an average of 8,000 people crossed the border a day. So Senate Democrats and Republicans have agreed we are going to do something to make our border situation better. And House Republicans and Donald Trump said, no, we're not doing anything until Donald Trump is in office. So you tell me who cares about the border.
Oh, that's simple. That's a simple answer. And it even goes to what Jean-Pierre says all day, whatever her name is. She goes, we put this legislation. That was the first thing we did was put this out, and Republicans didn't vote for it. You know why? Because we don't deal with terrorists.
You don't know what you're talking about. No, you're an idiot. You don't
we
know
don't negotiate with terrorists.
Hey, dummy. Republicans haven't voted on this yet, so you're talking about two different things.
No, the first thing they did, Biden's first.
I'm not talking about the first thing they did. I'm talking about this specific bill.
Yeah,
and you're Republicans and Democrats in the Senate. That Republicans and Democrats in the Senate negotiated together, and the only reason we're not doing anything about the border is because Donald Trump doesn't want Joe Biden to get a win. So you tell me who cares about the border. I talk about the border every single day. We call it a crisis here every single day. We know what the bills, we know how many people are coming, we know the bills that have been raised, and we know who's standing in the way of getting a border deal done. And it's Republicans.
Hold on, you said Republicans and the Democrats voted with it, right? To say it was good?
Senate Republicans, House Republicans, because it has to go through the House first. Go watch Schoolhouse Rock to figure out how bills are passed. I can't educate you on everything, but it has to go through the House. And the House, who have a large faction of people deathly loyal to Donald Trump, and Chip Roy specifically said, why would I vote for this and give Joe Biden a win? Donald Trump said, we don't need to change anything. We just need a different president. We need to enforce the laws that we have on the books right now. That's plenty. Well, bad news. Joe Biden not only deports more people, but but he deports a higher percentage of people than Donald Trump does. On every measure of our response to what happens at the border, Joe Biden has been harder than Donald Trump on immigration. The only difference is the amount of people at the border. And if you guys would shut the fuck up claiming that there's open borders, maybe the whole world wouldn't think we had open borders and keep showing up at the border, because that rhetoric is not coming from Democrats. It's coming from you guys. You won't shut up about it. You keep saying the border's open, the border's open, the border's open, and Democrats are like,
regardless what we say when they show up,
we're trying to put legislation forward to fix this, and it's you guys. You guys are the ones that are screwing this up.
Regardless what we say, when they show up to the border, it's either open or it isn't.
That is one of the dumbest things you've said so far. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's not how this
Biden
works.
got elected. They were wearing Biden shirts.
The border is either open or it's not. It's not open. I live in a border state. You know what happens if I go to the border? I have to wait in line.
Dude, it's not
show ID.
The fucking border part.
When I cross back into the United States, I have to wait in line.
I don't mean the checkpoint.
I have to show identification to prove that I'm an American citizen.
I don't mean the checkpoint, dude. I mean the ones that stream in past the checkpoints.
Yeah, it's not open. There's a border wall there.
A wall? Really? The Donald Trump wall, or which wall?
Well, a border fence. Sorry, a border fence.
Yeah, but it must end at some point, because I've seen videos of Donald Trump's wall ending and then just circling around it.
Yeah, then you haven't seen the borders. All the people that you're seeing, when you see these massive, like the huge groups of people, they're all in one place. Why do you think they're all in one place?
I don't know what that means. I've seen them by the bridge.
No. I said the massive groups. When we're talking about thousands of people in groups, they're in one place. You can go Google it right now. They're sitting in lines. They're in organized
they're
lines.
by the
Why do you think they're?
right
Why do you think they're doing that? Why do you think they're in a line?
Well, they're being processed in.
Yeah. Most of them are coming to ports of entry and waiting to be processed. Almost all of them are doing this the legal way. Now, that doesn't mean that some of them aren't lying. Some of them certainly are lying. And we turn back.
Let's talk about that real quick.
Record numbers. And again, we're turning back more as a percentage than we were under Donald Trump. So we are actually enforcing our border laws more strictly under Joe Biden than under Donald Trump. But you don't fucking know that, because you just get educated by people who go, open borders, open borders, open borders.
Well, we do.
You don't know what you're talking about. We've never
seen it like this. I promise you that. We've never seen it like this.
Yeah, and why are the people at our border?
Well, let's talk about it. They get to say one
Why are
thing.
they at the border?
Get to say one thing that gets them in the country. I'm seeking asylum.
No, that was always the case. That's been the case forever. So if that's been the case forever, if that's been the case forever, then why are we having a border crisis now?
Well, because I think they can be let in more.
No, why?
We're giving them money.
Why?
Hotels,
Why does so many people
phones.
want to come here right now?
Well, it's better than fucking Mexico cartel world.
Well, they're not coming from Mexico.
What?
Most of the people, you can't get asylum coming from Mexico.
I'm sure
there's no asylum seekers from
no matter
Mexico.
What country
Try
they're
again.
Coming from, it's fucking filled with cartels.
Venezuela.
And shit.
Venezuela is a huge one. Cuba, a huge one. What happened in Venezuela? Why are people fleeing Venezuela?
I don't know.
Of course you don't know, because again, the extent of your education is.
Why don't they fix the problem
I will tell
live?
you, but the extent of your education is.
Why is
I'm
this
going to
Disney
repeat
World?
whatever I hear, and I'll give you an education. Venezuela, 90% of their economy is based upon oil. They nationalized oil, meaning that most of the people in Venezuela that work. Most of the things that are paid for in Venezuela are paid for because of oil prices. Now, our last president, President Donald Jeremetrius Trump, did not like the outcome of an election in Venezuela because Donald Trump was getting pressure from oil companies to get Venezuela to privatize their oil so American companies could go down there and drill. And the new administration said no. So Donald Trump and some military contractors tried to stage a coup. Unfortunately, the coup was really poorly planned. So much so you can watch the video. You can go on YouTube. You can watch how this coup ended up. You can see it was
he's a vicious businessman.
It was former military people that went to jail. They were caught immediately. So directly after that, after the coup didn't work, Donald Trump said to Venezuela, "We're not going to buy oil from you anymore." And we bought 50% of their oil. So Overnight, Venezuela lost 50% of their economy because they didn't allow us, the United States, to send our oil companies down there and privatize their oil.
Better
So
sell to
Venezuela,
somebody
now
else.
Venezuela doesn't have money. They don't have jobs, and they
could
have
sell
no
to
other
China,
and they have
Russia.
no other options for these people. That's why the people are coming from Venezuela. And if we would have stayed out of that, we wouldn't have all these Venezuelans at our border.
Dude, Donald Trump is a vicious businessman. He knows worldwide economy.
Hey, yeah, good news, dude. Our I don't know if you know this. Our country is not a goddamn business, and our government is not supposed to do the bidding of oil companies.
Dude, it's a damn sure business.
Is the role of
Maybe it
government
was in the 80s,
is the role of government to go into other countries and demand their resources for our private oil companies?
It's
Is that the role of our government? That's what you want?
Game of war, buddy.
No, I'm
You know
asking,
it
is that what you want? Is that the role of our government?
It has to be now. It's a game of
Why does
war.
it have to be? Wait,
Well,
why?
because China and Russia are playing against us to fucking
Doesn't
beat us
matter.
economically.
It doesn't matter. We were getting cheap oil from Venezuela, cheaper than we can produce it here at home. And we no longer get that cheap oil because Donald
when
Trump
Biden
was
went to
doing the
Saudi
bidding
Arabia,
of
they
oil
only gave him
barons.
20% of what he asked for.
Wanted the people that he's beholden to, the people that get him elected, the people that pay his bills, the oil people. They're like, hey, Don, do us a favor. He's like, got it. I'll do a favor. And it didn't work. And because he's a big ass crybaby, he put sanctions on another country. And now they're at our border. And now you guys are like, it was Joe Biden. Joe Biden did this. No, Joe Biden didn't do this.
It's not all Venezuelans, bro.
No, it's also Cubans. And what's happening? The two biggest groups, Venezuelans and Cubans. Why are Cubans fleeing?
You know more than I do.
I know more than you do. Here's
Google.
what happened. Under Obama, after the Cuban Missile Crisis, we had slapped all sorts of sanctions on Cuba because our country, our electorate's really stupid, and we're afraid of socialism, which is the craziest fucking thing ever. Like, we're afraid of American workers having rights. It's the scariest thing to Republicans. But for decades, there was like propaganda campaigns saying that socialism was bad. So we put all these restrictions on Cuba. Well, then we lightened the restrictions on Cuba, and things were going better in Cuba, and then Donald Trump undid them. Trump banned travel to Cuba. He put sanctions on Cuba, and it decimated their economy. Now, what would you do if you were Cuban and you couldn't get a job, and you were trying to support... I know you don't have kids, and again, I'm glad you don't, but let's just imagine you had kids. What are you going to do? Stay in Cuba and let them starve? You would go to America. Exactly.
Why America, though? Why do they all come here?
Where else America? Is there to go? Because look at their options, right? We just came out of
please.
We just came out of COVID, right? Our country was hurt by COVID, but we're the richest country on earth. And we have all the military power, we have all the borrowing power, and virtually every country in this world that exports things is dependent on the United States economy to keep them afloat. Right? So the Americans we were uniquely able to withstand a global shutdown, but these other countries can't. They don't have the resources. They don't have the resources for it. So coming out of a global pandemic and a recession, the only place for Cubans and Venezuelans to go and actually be able to work is America. Right? If it was really about just like fleeing Cuba and they could work someplace else, I bet they would. Listen to the rhetoric about immigrants here. Listen to the way like the right speaks about immigrants. We demonize immigrants all the time. They are not welcome here. They are not welcome here. It's their only option. And they show up here and they get mistreated and they're just like, well, fuck, the other option was starving.
They don't conform and they don't get mistreated.
Who cares?
Get cell phones, hotels,
who cares about conforming?
thousands of dollars.
Who cares? Why should they conform?
Because we're such a great country. We will let them in to fucking hang out here. Learn our language. Don't make your neighborhoods into your fucking country. Start trying to.
Why do they need to learn our language? Why do they need to learn our language?
Because they're going to be working in our society and we're the majority here.
Well, but what if you're not the majority?
Well, it's slowly fucking becoming that, isn't it?
Is that scary?
I get a little bit, man. Yeah.
Why? Why is that? Because why are you afraid to be a minority?
Then I got to learn their language to order some food.
Oh. You're afraid
and I got
to
to
be
open my doors to let them
hold
come
on.
live with me.
I just want to be clear on this. You're afraid to be a minority because you'll have to adapt?
Yeah, because there's some rights to
But
your
you
own
demand,
land.
but you demand that others adapt.
Well, there's rights. It's a game of chess. There's rights.
No,
to
there's
your own
no
land.
there are no rights associated with what language you speak.
Okay, well, like you said, they're all
Okay, so
gonna
let
be
me so let
coming.
me
We
so
will
why are
be
you
the
afraid to
minority,
be
as
wait
Biden
so
said.
yeah, why are you afraid to be a minority?
Whatever, man. If you think it's
No,
cool, then
why?
cool.
No, not whatever, man. Answer the question.
Because they don't know how to keep it great. Because
Keep
they
what great? Wait, keep literally our country was made great by immigrants. We are a
that was
country
the
of
fucking
immigrants.
start of the game. I don't want to go back to that shit.
No,
That was
it
a
wasn't
chess
the
game.
start. It wasn't the start of the game. Do you think everybody just immigrated before 1776 and then immigration stopped?
No, there were some people already here.
Yeah, my family came here in the 1840s.
Yeah, I'm saying there were people already here, but at some
Yeah,
point, it
but
has
my
to
family
stop,
came in
right?
the 1840s. Was my family a problem?
No, but when does it
No,
stop?
not my family. What about people that came here in the 1960s?
When does it stop?
It never stops. That's the point. You're
So
afraid. You're just afraid of nothing.
We're just such a great country that we can forever take on new people.
Yes.
Okay, cool, man. There it
And,
is.
you know, but if you really are afraid of that, we're going to have to
was the
take
only
on,
white kid on my
if you
fucking
are
bus.
if you are afraid of taking on new people, then maybe you should advocate for a government that doesn't go around destabilizing the countries surrounding us. Maybe you advocate, instead of being like, I'm a nationalist and I want strong borders. Maybe we wouldn't need to have this conversation if we stopped fucking up everybody else's country.
We have to be above everyone, man,
Why?
because it's going to be war one day.
Why? Why is it gonna
Because
be war?
China and Russia hate our morals.
Our morals.
They hate how we sanction
what China?
They hate-
China. Listen, China and Russia don't exist without the United States. You've been fed a bunch of bullshit.
They can't exist
They are reliant
together.
on our economy. They don't exist without us. You're out of your fucking
They
mind.
would like to, and if they beat us,
No, they
economically-
don't. No, they wouldn't. China just had they're about to have a complete meltdown of their housing market. China's in a lot of trouble. Russia's in war. They've been sanctioned everywhere. Russia's in trouble. We're like, and we didn't have to do anything. They'll do it to themselves. You're out of your mind, dude. Like, stop being like. Do you think that we have to stop destabilizing Venezuela, or else China will take us over? Is that what you're saying?
What I mean is, the more we focus on,
No, I'm asking that question because that was the question I asked. Why don't we stop fucking up other countries? And you said, well,
there's good reason why we do
keep
that
fucking
shit.
up other countries so China and Russia don't take us over.
well, it is a game of the world, right? We have
No,
to.
it's
who
not. It's
controls
not a
what?
game. No, it's not a game. It's not.
A little bit.
No, it's not. You're just too dumb to understand.
When you're in top power, you look at it as a little bit of who wants what.
We would not lose power by not trying to take over the economies of Venezuela.
I don't
In fact,
know why.
us doing that we've lost power.
But what do you
We've
think
lost
any
power.
of the what do you think any of the positives of it were? Like, I see all the negatives.
There were legitimately
Why would we
no
do it if
positives.
there's no
You tell me
positives?
what the positive was.
That's what I'm saying. Why would we do it if there's no positives?
Because Donald Trump's a fucking idiot. And you
Come
guys
on.
keep thinking he's smart. He's bankrupted every single business he ever
That's a
started.
business
He's about
move.
to lose. He's about to lose his business. No, he
You make
bankrupted-
money when you
no,
bankrupt your shit.
Wait. Is it a business move to shut down your business because you have no revenue and you owe people money? Sure, but it also doesn't make you a good businessman.
Yeah, but he knows the fucking loopholes, man. That's why.
Yeah, well, it turns out, according to the judgment today, that maybe he didn't know the loopholes, and maybe he was just a tax cheat the whole fucking time.
Well, I've never seen one man attacked more in my life than that guy.
Yeah, well, you know why? Because he keeps committing crimes. That's the funny part. Like, you think that this is about Donald Trump?
Everything seems
Like,
to be in the past about what they're.
You think this is
chasing
about well, yeah, his business practices are in the past. This is in the past. All 91 indictments came after he was president for things he did after he was president. So fuck off with that. Like, all these indictments have happened right in front of our eyes, crimes we were able to witness. But the funny thing is like, you're so convinced that you're right about things that, like, this guy keeps losing case
I'm
after
not.
case after case, and you're doubling down on it. He's just a criminal, dude.
Well, we've just never seen anything like this. Like, at first it was a joke that he was even running. Everyone thought, hell no, this guy couldn't win.
Yeah, we didn't know you guys were this dumb. We didn't know
And
you
then
were
all of
going
a
to
sudden he
elect
started
him.
talking about loopholes that Hillary made, and we're like, holy shit, he's kind of like
She didn't
not
make
a
the
Republican's
loopholes that-
friend
it's-
or
yeah,
a Democrat's friend. Like, he doesn't.
Yeah, you
need
guys
their
are dumb.
money. He
Yeah,
didn't
you're
take
dumb.
a salary
They-
during his presidency and donated it back to the fucking governmental
Yeah,
agencies.
he also made. Yeah, who cares?
Well, you say who cares, but these are just all things. His son doesn't.
Yeah, they are all things. They're all things that you think matter, and they don't matter at all.
Second, RT, you talk about my morals when Biden's own son. I have videos on my TikTok of the guy blazing crack and banging young girls.
Yeah, do you think that?
Okay,
18. Gotcha. So do you think that we should be judged by what our children do?
Oh my God, man.
Oh my God.
Your family is the top of the family trickles down, bud. Whoever, if you
let me
can't
tell
keep
you,
it
let me tell you
together-
something about. Hey, you don't have a family. Shut the fuck up forever about that. You don't know what it's like to have kids. You don't know how kids act. You don't
And it's
know
not like this is
you
just
can be the best parent in the world, and your kid can still
No,
be a
I
fuck
agree.
up. You
I
don't
agree.
know what you're talking about.
But let's say this about it.
No,
If my
let's
kid
talk.
is a
Let's talk
fuck up-
about morals then. Let's talk about morals. You want to talk about drug use? You want to talk about the report that came out yesterday that basically said the entire Trump White House was just on drugs, and we have documentation.
What are we
They were
talking
handing
about?
out. It was a pill mill. They were handing out drugs in Ziploc baggies.
What are
you
we
want to talk about
talking about?
morals? You want to talk about a guy who, by all records, has just like been abusing amphetamines for his entire life, which is why
You're
he
saying
has to
the
wear
Trump
a diaper,
campaign
which
was
is why he goes
pushing dope?
all the time. Like, I don't want to hear about morals from the Trump people and you pointing to like
Well, I
Joe
don't see any
Biden's
videos
son.
of his
Joe
kids doing bad shit.
Biden, until he ran against Donald Trump, was universally revered by everybody as a good person. He's been in politics for 50 years.
marriage.
He's been in politics for 50 years. And the only thing
That's not
anybody
a good
has
thing.
about him is a fake diary entry and his son's shady business practices. Wow. Incredible.
A lifetime politician is not a good thing. And,
Yes, it is. It's a great thing. It's a great thing. And the reason it's a great thing is, wait, if it's not a good thing, then explain to me how Donald Trump campaigned on rebuilding our infrastructure and couldn't get an infrastructure bill in. And Joe Biden stepped in and within months, years, had an infrastructure bill done. And he got bipartisan support. You know why?
how the hell
Because he
he
worked
got
with these
that.
people his entire life. He worked
Yeah,
with these
he's in
people,
the game, and Donald Trump is
and you
not
have
in the game.
Republic. You don't even know what the game is.
The game is the
You're
fucking
so-
House
no,
and
no,
Senate.
no.
They're all friends. He's not their friend.
Good. They should be friends. That's how you get shit done. That's
I
what
feel
you
what
do
you're
at work.
saying, but it
When
should
you
be
go to work
bipartisan
and you
across all the
work, when
levels.
you go to work and you work with other people, you work together to get shit done. Only in politics,
but you're only
only
talking
MAGA
about
believes
left side, right
that you should
side.
go to. Only MAGA believes that you should go to work and just fight against your coworkers all day long.
Listen, I gotta
that's
go.
only-
You're a great person. I'm gonna give you this win. I'm gonna change who I
Just
am.
be better, man. I don't care about
gonna
the
be
wins.
better.
Be a better person.
I'm gonna be better.
And educate yourself. Stop demonizing. Excuse me. Stop demonizing women.
I'll
Stop
work
being
on it.
gross, dude. Like, and get off wherever you're getting your information. Leave that. Educate yourself different. Here's a challenge I would give you. I would give you a challenge. You can DM me. I will give you 3 news sources. 3, not mainstream news sources, but 3 people I think give good, unbiased information. Watch them for a month, and don't watch any right-wing propaganda.
All right.
Okay, I'll send it to you. And then I want to see what you think at the end of that.
Deal.
All right, see it. All right, Lil White Privilege is in the box. Lil White Privilege, here's the deal. I don't like talking to you because every time it ends with you screaming over me. You have a very short leash. We can have a discussion. I'll ask you questions. You can ask me questions. If I ask a question, answer it. You don't get to do no whataboutisms, no answering questions with a question. That's the only rule. The first time you do it, I'm bumping you. Welcome. Men with higher testosterone tend to vote for Republican. I'd like to see that study. That'd be great. What are we doing now? Like in exit polls, we're testing people's testosterone. Is that what we're doing? Yeah, I don't think it'll go well either. He might have left. He doesn't like waiting in the box. All right. No Lil White Privilege there. That was fine. Dude, that guy was... I need a break. That was gross. That was wild. It's so... that's the saddest part, though. Like, when you talk to these people who are willing to say this type of stuff about Eugene Carroll and about women, like, and you get to the bottom of it, you realize they just actually aren't educated. Like, they've taken no time to figure out what the facts of cases are. Like, they start with the presumption that men, specifically white men and rich white men like Donald Trump, are innocent and that they're the victims. It's crazy. Hi, Jen.
Hola.
Speak our language.
That was fun.
That was fun.
I feel like I need to go bathe in bleach and maybe exfoliate with a Brillo pad after those two guests. That was gross. Really, really gross.
Yep.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little palate cleanser. So if you guys could do us a favor, if you like the live, if you're not always already following Jay, please do.
Remember, this is my backup.
Yep, we've got a YouTube that we repost all of these lives and other content. That's pretty good. And message any of the mods for a link to the Discord. It's a fun community. So yeah, and you can talk trash about. And yes, I am RTP's handler. It does not pay enough for the headaches that I get.
It pays zero. It pays zero, and the headaches are unending, which is it's a bad deal for Jen. She's a bad negotiator.
I really, really am. But yeah. So give it a little break, for.
I appreciate it.
So come up if you guys are opposition. If you don't agree with Jay, come up and talk to him about it.
All right. Thanks, Jen. Looks like there's somebody in the box. Bobby G, I just want to make sure you're opposition before you come up. Jen can handle me anytime. Bobby G, will you just say yes if you are opposition? RTP, so before I did this account, I was a professional... he's the border agent. Okay. Yeah, I'll bring you up in just a second, actually. Before I did this, I was a professional sports bettor. That's what I did for a living. And RTP meant riding the pine, as if I wanted to make sports picks, but like degenerates are degenerates. If you're a profitable sports bettor, you make bets based on markets, and those markets change within like seconds. So here's a fun tip: never pay anybody for their picks, ever. Never pay a single human being for their sports picks. You won't have an edge. They might go on winning streaks. They might have an edge. So I wanted to have a name that conveyed like, hey, don't take this too seriously. So that's what RTP was. And then I just kept the name when I did this, because I kept the account. And I didn't mean to get into politics. I jumped in. I was talking to people, and then it kind of turned into what it was. Cersei, welcome back.
How we doing, brother?
Good.
I just wanted to ask you about when you say weak men, right? Do you mean like the special forces operators that are basically all Republican and the most alpha guys that we have in our country, or million Americans that are toting weapons that could pretty much take out anything and anyone that comes across, that invades this country? What do you mean by weak, exactly?
I mean that if you are MAGA, that mentally you are probably a weak person.
Okay, so you're talking about mentally, not physically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't care about physical strength. Like it's 2024.
Well, you have to be mentally and physically strong to join the SEALs and be a SEAL and be a Ranger and that's just a fact.
Well, like you have to be able to endure a lot of pain, but that like if a Navy SEAL is going to talk to me about politics, him being a Navy SEAL offers no credentials for his political ideology. There are plenty of Navy SEALs with abhorrent political ideology. One that I can think of one specifically. I don't remember his first name. It's Marcus Luttrell's brother. Like he's a moron politically. He doesn't understand how economics work. He doesn't understand how our government works. He went to war. He was by all, I think he was a SEAL. If I know Marcus was, but I think his brother was a SEAL too, right?
Right.
Yeah. I appreciate what he did. It was difficult. He did something that like most people couldn't do.
Well, you have to actually
the ability to like withstand the amount of pain and anguish they go through just to get out of buds. Like it's remarkable, but that doesn't make them qualified to govern or to legislate. It's a totally different set of qualifications.
Gotcha. It's not about pain endurance in the SEALs. You have to actually be mentally incredibly intelligent to be able to operate under extreme conditions. That's the criteria. You have to be incredibly
That's not the criteria. Wait, no, that's not the criteria.
Yeah, it is.
No, you don't have to be. No, you don't have to be brilliant to push through pain and to keep your wits about you. You have to have the ability to shut everything out that's going on around you and focus on a task at hand. It's a specific skill, and it's a skill that a lot of people don't have. But I don't think it says that like that person's a genius.
Right. So like Sean Ryan, have you seen the Sean Ryan show at all on TikTok?
Yeah.
YouTube, you have. So you don't think he's intelligent and can articulate himself properly with the guests the guests that he has on? Same with Jocko.
So Jocko and him, the same thing. Like when I hear them talk about military operations, when I hear them talk about like overcoming adversity, when I hear them talk about training, when I hear them talking about a mindset of not quitting, like I look at them and I'm like, oh, those are experts in that. Like they give really, really good advice. If you're somebody who needs motivation to keep pushing through whatever you're going through, like those are good people to listen to. But yeah, as soon as they get into the political realm, I hear them like they just recycle arguments, wrong arguments that I hear all the time. I think I don't trust anybody who sounds the same now that they did 10 years ago. I don't trust anybody who's using the same talking points as the exact same talking points that all of right-wing media is using. And I see that with both Sean Ryan and Jocko.
And you would say the same thing with David Goggins and the list.
David Goggins is a fucking mess. Mm-hmm. David Goggins abandoned his everything, his family, his friends, so that he could go run. Like David Goggins is inspirational for somebody like if you're like he accomplished his dreams, but he abandoned everything. He's not a balanced person. His life revolves around him running. He literally abandoned his family to run and go write self-help books.
So none of these guys are mentally strong in your eyes.
I didn't say mentally strong. I said politically. I don't they're not good politically. They have no nuance to their opinions. Their opinions are recycled from everybody else, and they think because they've accomplished great things. This is the fallacy that most people have. You can be smart, you can be accomplished, you can be great in your field, but political science is political science for a reason. It's not easy to understand. It takes an insane amount of time and research to be up to date and to be educated on all of these issues. And I listen to them, and they're not right on their facts. And the stuff that they're not right about, like it would take 5 minutes of a fact. Like, do they ever fact check it? No. They think because throughout their whole life they've been able to trust their gut, their own mind, their intuition, and they have the willpower to accomplish things, that means that they're right about other things, and they're not.
You think the possibility exists of you becoming a mentally just hijacked from a political system that wants you on their side, and that you have so much emotion because you've been played on fear and that kind of it. So then you believe that everyone that doesn't believe what you believe, right, like doesn't think like you think politically, falls into a category of X, like stupid, and no. You believe, because that's what
I don't think I know. Listen, I was an elected official in the Republican Party, dude. Like I've changed my views. I've changed. If people that have been listening to me now for over a year, my views have changed and evolved. I'm very, just so you know, like I don't go down like a propaganda arm. Like I watch way more. I watch probably 90% of what I take in is right wing propaganda. I know most of your guys' talking points better than you do. And then all I have to do is fact check them and just see, like, not everything people on the right say is wrong. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes I find myself agreeing with them. I listened, like, I've listened, I have a clip from Tucker Carlson I was going to play yesterday, where for like, it was like a 5-minute clip. And for the first 3.5 minutes, everything he said was dead on with what I think. I think he was dead on. And then it was a last minute and a half that I would disagree with. But the thing is we can disagree on prescriptions. We do that all the time. Like, we can disagree on what the best prescription for our country is. But the problem I have is that people, specifically Jocko, like, we disagree on facts, and that's a problem. It's a problem when Jocko is either purposely or just ignorantly spewing facts that aren't right.
Okay,
that's where I have a problem.
So do you okay, let's take a position on Ukraine, right? Do you think it was do you first off, are you a supporter of the Ukraine war and backing Ukraine and getting them as much weapons as we possibly can, or no?
Look, I think sort of that's a difficult answer, because I think diplomatically we could have avoided this. I think that leading up to Russia invading Ukraine, like, we made mistake after mistake after mistake. That was not just Trump; it was also the Obama administration. It was our ambassadors to Russia. Like, it was us sometimes being too trusting of Russia. There's, like, I could list. There's a litany of reasons that I think we handled Russia wrong, and that led to Russia feeling like they could go into Ukraine. But once Russia went into Ukraine, I hate it. But what were our options? It's important for us that I always forget what that strait is. What's the strait right below Ukraine called? You probably
Bering.
know, or that bay.
Bering.
Yeah, the Bering Strait. Like, it's important to the world economy that the Bering Strait is something where you can have free trade. Nobody trusts that Russia is going to allow that to be free. Russia wants the Bering Strait because they've been blocked off going through the Baltic Sea and the North Sea. They don't have options there because they never live up to their promises. And so now they're like, we need access to the Black Sea so that we can export our oil. I don't think that it's right for us to stand by and allow Russia to take Ukraine. And we have we have interests there with Ukraine as well. So do I like it? No. Do I think we've handled it fairly well? Yeah. Like, we've largely stayed out of it. We've largely just given them old equipment that they can use, which has actually boosted the economy here in the United States as we produce new equipment. Like, it's actually provided jobs, even though, like, we're going to recycle that equipment anyways, right? So we're recycling it, but we're giving it to Ukraine, and we're here in the United States creating jobs for a lot of veterans, a lot of military people, a lot of manufacturing places that require DOD clearance for retired military, right? Like, there's been some net benefits to it. I wish it didn't happen, but, like, you could maybe sell me on a way we could have handled it differently, but I've never heard a good option of a different way to handle it.
Gotcha. I'm just curious if you think that sending them $90 billion is staying out of it.
No, I said we've largely stayed out of it, like, physically.
Okay.
I mean, like, we didn't go and we didn't put our troops on the ground.
We have our people over there dying, right? We have Democrats joining up and you know that, right?
Yeah, but it's not us sending them, right? It's contractors.
On a personal level, they're going, okay.
Well, it's contractors, right? They're being paid.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not. We're not sending them. First of all, I hate I hate that we even fund military contractors. I hate that even exists. I think that's crazy. I think it's crazy that we actually have, like, a mercenary industry in our like, that's wild. It's wild that we train people and then we turn them into mercenaries.
It's actually
like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's satanic. Actually, they did it behind Blackwater for years in Iraq. So
I agree with you. And it sucks because the people that were there that were wearing the flag and that were there that were United States soldiers, they were getting paid dick. And they were living in shitty conditions. And these contractors who were getting private government contracts from our government are over there getting paid double, triple, quadruple, living in nicer places without the same restrictions. Yeah, I hate that too. I think there's a lot of areas where, as a former conservative, I still have common ground with current conservatives.
So I guess I don't want to, monologue the live or anything. I'm not trying to, take over the. I'm thinking that here's a question that might be interesting to you. Do you hate Trump?
Yeah, I think he's a uniquely bad person.
Right. So when you say hatred, right? When you say hate, how much hate do you have in your heart for Trump?
Well, I don't know what that means, to be honest. What does that mean? The heart doesn't feel hate.
Your heart doesn't.
The heart
feel
just pumps blood. There's no your heart has no feelings.
You have no emotion of hatred?
No, we have emotions, but it doesn't come from your heart.
Oh.
Right.
And
I have very specific reasons for why, like maybe hate's a strong word. I don't know. Maybe I hate him. Maybe I don't. I probably never really like sat down and thought, do I hate him, or like, where do I feel? But I have specific reasons for why I dislike him.
Sure.
I left the party because of him, just so you know, like, and it's crazy to like, I left because I saw him for what I believed he was. And I voiced that opinion. And that lost me family. That lost me friends. That lost me my community. That lost me, like, I don't speak with my dad.
Right.
And when I've tried to speak with my dad, and I've tried to speak with these other people, the problem is they don't like my opinion. And I understand their opinion is that they like MAGA, but they want me to be quiet while they're allowed to speak. Like, and they don't want me to point out things that are wrong with Donald Trump. And I was in a cult before. So whether like people treat Donald Trump as if he is a godlike figure, and I think it's ruined the Republican Party. The Republican Party's in shambles. That like there's multiple states that don't have any money now, like that can't even run campaigns. There's a split.
Do you mean like cities like San Francisco and
No,
California?
I'm talking about the Arizona GOP. They don't have any money.
And then you're saying like cities like Chicago and Illinois basically being.
We're talking about political parties. So these are things that Donald Trump affects directly. Because you can, if we're talking about cities, you're including a lot. You're including a lot of like economic factors. You're including potentially like corrupt politicians. Like
Chicago does. And
listen. Almost everywhere has corrupt politicians. Like I'm in Mesa, Arizona, deep red, corrupt politicians. I worked for the GOP in Utah. There's corrupt politicians everywhere. That is not a partisan. It is not a partisan issue. It's not.
No doubt. They just tried to pay off Kerry Lake, our political.
Yeah. And if you listen,
the bribe-based lobbyist system, and it's based.
But hold on. Why do you think Donald Trump hasn't said anything about that?
I believe he's on record, and I'm not a Trump supporter, by the way. He's on record. Hundreds of times on record saying how corrupt
I know, but why do you think he had, like, this is a big story. Why do you think Donald Trump isn't backing Kerry Lake here?
Kerry Lake? Are you talking about Kerry Lake specifically? It just came out.
This claim. He hasn't said a word about this claim.
You're waiting for, okay, I'm sure he's going to say something, but are you discounting the hundreds of other times? Like that?
No. Here's what let me be clear on what I'm saying. Donald Trump didn't want Kerry Lake. These bribes came from MAGA. The guy that was bribing him is as MAGA as you get.
Okay, you're sure about that?
Quit. Yes, he worked on the campaign in 2016 and 2020 as a lead advisor. Donald Trump he was the CEO of NASA, and then he left the CEO of NASA position to rejoin the Trump campaign. And then he was put in by MAGA to run the Arizona GOP. You'll notice that there's not very many people close to Trump that are talking about this.
So, okay, you're just
this isn't deep state Republicans making this bribe.
Got it. So then, okay. So
and again, that's my opinion. I want to be clear. That's my opinion. Yeah, but all of that stuff is true. It seems way more likely to me that this was a MAGA move. Trump's on record. There have been multiple people, confirmed multiple sources who have said that Donald Trump complains that Kerry Lake hurts him and he doesn't want Kerry Lake in Arizona.
So then,
by the way, as somebody who lives in Arizona, he's right. Donald Trump's right about that. Kerry Lake as the nominee is a disaster for Arizona Republicans. It's great for me.
What part of Arizona are you in?
I'm in Maricopa County.
Okay, I was in Tucson. Actually, yeah, way back in the day when it was actually a cool state, and it's actually a pretty cool state now. But anyway, so let me ask you: do you think that there is an establishment do you think there is an establishment of corruption in our government that has taken over one political party and operates it as a proxy, basically to get it to do whatever it wants? No. So you don't believe
well, I think that there are
in the Middle East is a problem, and then you think Ukraine's an okay move, and then you think that
what about the Middle East? What'd you say about the Middle East?
I'm just questioning if you believe that our moves when Obama basically dropped more bombs than anyone in the Middle East. You don't believe that
until Trump beat that record, right? Then Trump beat that record, right?
You don't believe that. Well,
then Trump beat that record, right?
No, Trump didn't. Trump actually drew us out of the wars.
Trump, no, there were more drone strikes under Trump than in 4 years than Obama. Like he averaged more drone strikes. It's true.
Trump actually had a specific drone strikes. Trump did not get us into any more wars, so you can't
either did Obama.
Are you sure?
What war did Obama get us into?
Ask the chat if Obama. Let's see what the chat says about that.
What war did Obama get us into?
What wars are you?
Well, yeah, what wars? Which ones? Which ones?
We were all over. We were all over. I know,
but just why don't you name some specifics? Yeah, we were in the. Yeah, when he took. You understand? We were in the Middle East before Obama took over, right?
Of course, with the disaster
started by. By the way, let's be clear. Are you talking about declared wars? Or are you talking about military operations? Because declared wars, none of these people declared war, right?
Right.
Obama, Trump, Biden, none of them have declared war. But military, if we're just looking at military actions, Donald Trump was very active.
Because they believe that they can just go in and bomb any country they want and do whatever.
I hate that. And I agree with you. I'm not on board with that. It's my biggest criticism of Joe Biden. I hate that Joe Biden is a Zionist. I hate the way that he has handled Israel. I don't like Joe Biden is far too pro-war for me. Way too pro-war. But so was Trump. And so are all the Republicans. At some point,
are you going to recognize that there might be an establishment behind the Zionist operations around the world?
Oh, or no? Yeah. Well, I thought you were asking, is there just an establishment that controls everything? Certainly. The military-industrial complex is real, 100%. And they have influence and power more than people like to think. And the one thing about Donald Trump that sucks is that Donald Trump ran on blowing all this shit up. And if you went back to my Twitter and you found on election day, you'd find me tweeting hey, I really hope he delivers on this. I'm going to give him a chance. But he didn't. What happened is he got in there and he realized that the president really isn't pulling the strings there. The military industrial complexes, the generals are. I see very little difference in the way that Joe Biden and Donald Trump acted as commander in chief. The real difference between the two of them is rhetoric. But action wise, there's not a big difference between our last three presidents.
And you don't believe that do you remember the time when we left all our equipment in Iraq? Do you remember that time we were watching the videos of the thousands and thousands of Humvees and tanks?
Afghanistan?
Correct. Do you remember that? Yeah, under Obama.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Do you believe that there might be an establishment with the pyramid that's on our dollar bill? Why is the pyramid on our dollar bill? I'm just curious.
I don't know.
You don't know. Are you curious to know? Do you have?
Not particularly, but you could tell me.
You're not okay. That's what we don't have to even go in it.
Wasn't that decision made by that decision's made by the Fed, right? I think that design, and didn't we vote on that design? No, I know that it's vaguely Masonic. I came from a copycat Masonic cult, so
you're actually
I understand what that symbolism means. Is that what you're saying, that it was from the Masons?
I'm actually blown away that you know that symbol on our dollar bill comes from the Masonic order. My grandfather's 33rd.
Well, I was Mormon. That same symbol is in Mormon temples.
So
they stole that from the Masons, which is part of why Joseph Smith was killed.
The Mormons actually started. They were Masons before the Mormon.
They weren't. Just Joseph Smith was. Joseph Smith was a 33rd degree Mason, and part of the reason he got killed is because he stole their ceremony and put it in Mormon temples.
That's correct. And have you seen the Mormon headquarters have you?
I grew up in Utah. I was Mormon. I went on a Mormon mission. I was heavily involved in that cult.
Have you ever seen that headquarters?
You mean the temple or the headquarters? Yeah, the temple's not really the headquarters, but yeah, I've been in there.
Right, not the headquarters.
I've done the ceremonies. I've taken the oaths. I've done the secret handshakes. I've done all of that.
Right. So you know what's up. Okay. All right. So then I would ask you then, what's your level of intel on who controls the central bank, the IMF, and the Federal Reserve? Do you know who controls the bank?
Look, I've seen I think that there's arguments that there's people that control it. I've never seen any. I've never seen any convincing evidence. I'm not opposed to this idea that there are people pulling the strings, but the problem I have with a lot of these conspiracy theories is I think they ignore the obvious answer and go for the conspiratorial answer. Like, I think the obvious answer is like the billionaire class is running everything. I think that's the obvious answer. And we always are pointing at people like we're pointing at the World Economic Forum. We're looking at Charles Klaus. Like, but in our country, it's very clear that the billionaire class and corporations control everything.
So
it's very clear. And I think we go too far with the conspiracy.
So you believe we should be believing these wars and why they exist, and we should be believing if the government wants to inject us.
No, definitely not. No, look at Israel and Palestine. Like, look at what's like. It is damn near impossible to talk about Israel Palestine and not say something that's refuted. Right? Like, clearly, if we've learned anything with the expansion of internet, we all should know that we're being lied to constantly. Correct. And that every single war is narrative driven. But I do think that, like, there are special interests. For example, oil. Like, I think if we want to look at who had the most to gain, it would have been the oil billionaires. It would be the oil companies. And when you look into it, do they donate heavily to PACs that advocate for the military industrial complex? Yeah. Like, do they work closely with the people who with Boeing and BlackRock? And like, oh, yeah, they work together. They have interests. That's what happened. We have hundreds of thousands of people at our borders coming from Venezuela because we tried a coup in Venezuela and we tried to take their oil, their private or their nationalized oil. We tried to privatize it with American companies, and when they didn't like it, we slapped sanctions on them, and now they're at our border. So I agree with you there.
But then, who do you believe funded the setup of Israel? Then, if it is actually,
what do you mean by the setup of Israel? What do you mean?
Well, you've done the research, I'm assuming, on the 1947 partition plan, the UN plan, right? So you know. Yeah. So you know who was behind that, correct or no?
I mean, you can make assumptions. Like, I know who was involved. Are you saying there was like another force outside of those that were participating in the agreement, or what are you saying?
Well, I'm curious if you know the actors or agentors behind the setup of the 48 of Israel, and if you know why they did it. And if you know,
I'm honestly not sure what question you're asking, to be honest. So maybe I don't, because I'm not sure what question you're asking.
I'm trying to assess because it seems like at some point you have a level of knowledge behind entities that have nefarious actions, and they have incredible power. And at the other point, it seems like you're buying into one of the parties that they've set up specifically to go against maybe the people of our country, and maybe they've hijacked the Republican Party, and maybe they have their hands in both sides, and maybe they've been conducting illegal wars around the world, which are just absolutely ridiculous. And maybe
I don't think they're partisan, if that's what you're saying. I don't think that the Republicans or the Democrats are clean on being influenced and directed by the billionaire class or those with special interest, military industrial complex. I don't think either side is clean. The way I look at politics is I say, like, what I think our best chance to fix it is by coming together as an electorate and taking power back, forcibly taking power back to the people. It's telling the billionaire class, like, the billionaire class doesn't have the reason that they have power is not because they're so smart or they're so intellectual or they're so convincing. It's because they have money, and they've been able to build that money off of the backs of the working class, and they've been able to extract wealth all along the way, creating a Ponzi scheme of a financial market, setting up tax laws that allow them to essentially appear that they're not making any money while accumulating massive amounts of wealth. Right. So when I look at this, when I came out of being a Republican, I say, okay, well, if I'm gonna vote, how do I need to vote? I need to vote for the people who I think are most likely to disrupt this what's going on. And when I look at what I think is the most effective way to get the power back, I see no evidence that falls. Like, there used to be people in the Republican Party that I thought, like Justin Amash, Ron Paul, he was out there, but like he was consistent. Even the old Ted Cruz was kind of like that. There were people that I, at least, even if I didn't like their politics, I'm like, well, they're going to fight for the people. And I think those people largely have left the Republican Party. Donald Trump ran them all out.
So then, as much as you're focused on the names and the parties and the blue and the red, do you have the?
I'm more focused about the money behind them, by the way.
So
like Leonard,
Leonard
Leo is running the Republican Party.
So when you say billionaire class, right? Are you sure it's the billionaire class, or are you or do you think there are families that came out of the Roman Catholic Church that then set up? You can't get into the Jesuits and why the Jesuits tried to reestablish the Reformation, and why the Reformation killed off the old world order, and then why the new world order established.
I think the Jesuits' power and control has largely fizzled out. I mean, they so much so that like even the Jesuits, like they no longer stand alone. All of these religious groups, none of them stand alone anymore.
Correct.
They've all kind of coalesced, and that's what Leonard Leo did really well. Leonard Leo has taken like Christian nationalism and made it clear to all the Christian sects and the Jesuits. I don't know if they consider themselves Christian. I assume they do.
They do.
But he's taken all those sects and he's brought them together, and they negotiate now together more as one. And that's where they're largely behind Project 2025.
Absolutely. And the Jesuits actually own 14 universities. By the way, I'm friends with one of the guys that part of the.
I lived on campus at Gonzaga.
Yep.
It was a Jesuit
and
university.
Loyola Marymount, and they basically, Xavier, they own all these institutions. And when you look at the Jesuit oath, if you've really gone into these organizations and what they stand for, the Jesuits are actually worth they're actually worth trillions. And the reason they are worth trillions is because they were the instituted army behind the Roman Catholic Church as it fell when Martin Luther called them out for indulgences and the corruption behind the Roman Catholic Church, right?
They attacked the Protestants. They were responsible largely for the accusations of witchcraft and the accusations of like divination. Like, they smeared everybody that wasn't a part of their their church, right? They smeared anybody, but unfortunately, like the Jesuits lost power. I guess they lost unilateral power when America existed, and America was founded on the principles of religious freedom, and religions are allowed to grow and expand in America, and they don't want to be under the thumb of the Jesuits. So I think the Jesuits have fallen in line. I don't buy the idea that the Jesuits are still controlling things. I think that they have fallen. I think that they've fallen in with other groups, and they have capitulated. Say like, okay, we all have here's where we all have similar goals, and we'll work together on those similar goals. And I also believe that at any point, if they feel like they can seize control, they will.
Well, they actually have, and here's how they have. The setup of the United States, first off, was done by Freemasons. They were actually good Freemasons.
Some.
Correct, you could say that. Fine. I would say most, but they set up the United States. However, there was a very powerful general who came in and kind of infiltrated the Freemasons. Do you know who that general was on the Confederate side?
I don't know.
His name was Albert Pike, and he infiltrated and he was the grand commander of the Freemasons at the time, and he was trading letters with Giuseppe Mazzini in Italy. So if you want to look up the blueprint.
Yeah, but wait, if we want to go, you can go to the blueprint, but like the problem I have with all these conspiracy theories is I agree with you that it's possible they were trying. I'm looking at now. The Masons have virtually no power.
No. Here's the Masons have an incredible grip. But let me just
Yeah, but in order to convince me of that, you have to convince me that all of these Masons are pretending to be like that there's all these secret Masons.
If I gave
that's the problem. You have to then convince me that everybody is just lying and they're actually Masons. And When my freshman year, I played soccer in college. The sponsor of our uniforms was a Masonic lodge, so I got really good friends with I forget what you even call the leader of the lodge, but he was the one that sponsored our team, and I met with them. And like I've met with Freemasons, I've went to their meetings. Like the Freemasons don't believe in an establishment of a religion. This Christian nationalism is anti-Freemasonry. So when I'm seeing Christian nationalists rise, I don't associate that with Masonry. They would not. That goes against their very tenets.
That is correct, and actually, there's a very specific reason why the Masons.
So then wouldn't they? So they wouldn't be Zionists.
You have to let me land a plane here. So, or you don't. You can just kick me.
It's a cross country flight.
So I would submit to you to look at the blueprint of what they wanted to do and reflect between the blueprint that they created back in the 1800s versus what is happening now. And then maybe you might
Where would you draw the correlations?
So then if you look at Albert Pike's letter to Giuseppe Mazzini, which is the 3 world wars, and that happened in 1871, and that is confirmed by 2 PhDs that letter exists, and that letter, and you can look it up on Yandex or whatever. I wouldn't use Google. Google's controlled by BlackRock, and they have a very specific vested interest in making sure that you follow a narrative. And that narrative is dichotomized between the Republicans and the Democrats. And it's a confusion narrative because I'm afraid, my friend, that you may have bought into it. And what I'm submitting to you respectfully is that maybe you want to look at the families that are behind the breakup of the Roman Catholic Church and what their interests are in
real quick, can you understand that, like, when you say I've bought into it, like you have to recognize you're the one with a narrative. Me rejecting your narrative and picking and being critical of what you bring up is not, and this is a problem. This is the same playbook of the last cult that I was in. Right? When people don't reject you, when people reject your narrative or offer criticisms of your narrative, that is not us buying a narrative. There's no narrative that I've been fed. Giving some of the information you're giving me is stuff I've never heard before, and I'm asking you questions, and like right now I've got the Albert Pike letter up, and I'll figure out, like, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't know if it's real or not. I'll have to look into that. But like, I have no narrative. You do.
There is no narrative that I'm coming from,
dude. The Albert Pike letter is a narrative.
No, it's not. It actually exists, and there is, and it is.
Yeah, and it's a narrative. It's written in 1871. Correct. It's a prediction of what's going to happen. I'm reading it, and I disagree with some of how they're framing what happened in these wars. You're thinking because there was a First World War and a Second World War, and we haven't had a Third World War yet, and you're recognizing, like, again, this was written in 1871. Correct. People in the 1870s were predicting world wars. The founder of the Mormon Church predicted world wars. The founder of the Mormon Church predicted the Civil War. Does that mean that the Mormons run everything?
There's a difference between people predicting the world wars and then actually the grand commander of the Freemasons predicting the world wars. And then how...
But here's the thing. The problem with this letter the problem with this letter is that it's establishing, like, it's saying this will happen and here's why. That's the narrative. The narrativization is, like, say the First World War must be brought about, it has to be, right? In order to permit the Illuminati to overthrow the power of the czars in Russia and of making that country a fortress of atheistic communism. Well, bad news, they're not atheistic communists.
Okay, so then
0 for 1. Like, the very first thing, the reason that war had to happen was for the Illuminati to overthrow the czars and turn it into an atheist communist state. It's not that. So it's wrong in its very first prediction.
Russia didn't turn into an atheist communist state? Is that what you're saying?
Communism is classless, stateless, and currencyless.
And Russia didn't turn into a communist state?
No, Russia continued to operate as a country. Communism does not operate as an established country. It is stateless.
Are you sure that Russia didn't turn into a communist state?
Okay, listen to me.
Is that your?
Yes.
Are you
yes. With that? In order for it to be communist,
put a tattoo on yourself with that.
In order for it to be communist, it needs to be classless, There was clearly a class system in the USSR. It has to be stateless. They're clearly not stateless. They still have a government. They still operate as a government, and it needs to be currencyless, and they have a currency. So the three components of communism do not exist in Russia. They didn't exist in the USSR.
So because a country has a currency,
so it's not communism.
So a country that has a currency makes it excluded from communism. So North Korea excluded from communism. Cuba excluded from communism. Got it. So then
communism. No, you can't. That's the thing. Wait, hold on. That's like saying there's no atheist Christians. Those are in opposition. You can't be communist and have a country. Those are in opposition to each other.
Oh, you're talking about
communism isn't that far removed from it's like anarchy, right? Like, can you have an anarchist country?
I think we know what the letter meant.
Can you have an anarchist country?
I think we know what communism means.
No, and now this is you narrativizing.
No,
so now this is hold on. If I'm going to be open-minded to let you narrativize, you've got to be open-minded to the idea that maybe you're wrong.
No one has brought this narrative to you ever except for me, so there is no narrative that I'm following, my friend.
First of all, lots of people have brought this narrative you were not the first person to bring up the Masons and the Illuminati.
Oh no.
You're probably the most well-spoken.
My contacts are inside the Pentagon. I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. JCOS.
Okay, well then explain it. Explain to me. Okay, then explain it. Wait, then explain it. How can the First World War it has to be brought about in order to permit the Illuminati to overthrow the power of the czars in Russia and of making that country a fortress of atheistic communism,
which it turned into, no? When it was in communism?
Have you ever checked the belief system? Have you ever checked the belief system of Eastern Russia? Heavily Muslim. Not very atheist.
Okay, fine.
Are there Christians in Russia?
Then there obviously wasn't a full wipeout.
Are there Christians in Russia?
Did Russia not turn into a communist state after that?
You can't be communist and have a state.
I'm cool with you. I'm cool with your definition of communism and how
That's the definition. You don't get to make up a definition of communism.
Got it. So then there's been no communist state that's ever existed.
Have you read the Communist Manifesto? Have you read it?
No.
So what's your education on what communism is?
It's basically the controlling of the factors of production, the controlling of the media,
That's not communism.
Oh yeah.
You don't know what communism is.
Oh, I do.
No. What you're saying is literally American propaganda that has been pushed forward since the 1920s and before that, but specifically starting in the 1920s. You have a narrativized version of what communism is because the United States needed to make communists the enemy. So they've been lying to you, and you're bought in. That's the problem. Why am I the one? If I don't know something, then I've been. Why are you not open to the idea that maybe you're being played?
Because immigrants from Venezuela will tell you all about communism. Because
they're telling you they came from communism, they also don't know what it means.
They're lying. And then the immigrants from Cuba
brother, you can't have a country that is communist. It doesn't exist. It cannot exist.
Got it. Cool. Okay. Then let's just put that to bed. Then let's just let you have your utopian communist state that never has existed. That sounds like a good little narrative to believe in, right?
Brother, listen. Where did we get the idea of communism? Where'd that come from?
Get the idea. I believe that the father of communism, Mr. Marx, right, laid it down perfectly clear to us. However, you have
and in that perfectly clear that he laid out, he said, communism is classless, stateless, and currencyless.
And you're
ignoring those three tenets,
right? And you believe that the control of the media, the full control of the factors of production, which Russia still largely controls, however. But
no, they don't. They control. Russia owns 50% of every privately held company.
So you would say that if a country doesn't line up on
wait, hold on. You said they largely control it. They own 50% of the corporations, and you know who owns the rest of the corporations? The workers. The workers.
So
And
so where is that ever?
You can go read. You can go read Red Notice. This will teach you all about
Where
it.
is that? No, I know that you're.
Okay, so that's not communism.
Oh, then what? Okay, so then those letters.
Jesus
so we
Christ.
just, oh yeah,
it's literally like it's a mixed economy.
Right. Oh, it's a mixed
Yeah.
economy. So we should just. You know what? Since it's a mixed economy and it's not communism per those letters that took place back in.
Because it doesn't fit the definition. Just like you're not a horse.
No, it seems.
But you
like
have eyes. Horses have eyes.
Intentions back then to establish communism, which basically is a pyramid top-down scenario where government controls everything and the citizens control nothing and they have nothing.
That's not communism. That's not communism. That's goddamn, dude. If the tenet of communism is that you can't have a government, then the government can't fucking control everything.
Right. So
communism is no government. You're mixing it up with socialism. And what socialism is that the workers own the means of production, not the government. The workers own the means of production. You don't know what you're talking about. Dude, you've spent all this time convincing yourself of a narrative of like this deep state, this Illuminati. You've spent clearly hours of time researching this because you're so educated on it. You forgot to figure out like what words mean. And this is the problem I have with most conspiracy theorists. You spend all your time on the conspiracy and you don't know in reality what words mean.
Oh, so then all the
Stop it, dude. No, admit that you don't. This is crazy. This is where we're stuck. If you can't admit that Russia and USSR are not communist, then I don't know what to tell you. We're at an impasse. There's nothing else to say. You're dead fucking wrong on this.
Oh, okay. So the narrative that we destroyed communism.
It's not a narrative.
And so so not a narrative. Okay, it's not a narrative.
Yours is the narnarrative. Yours is a narrative. I read the narrative.
Are you able to have a conversation, or are you going to be emotionally?
Yeah, but you can't keep pretending that like this. You can't keep ignoring the fact that in this letter that you're using it as proof, in the very first war, it's incorrectly identified what would happen. The prediction was wrong.
The proof is everywhere, by the way.
Prediction was wrong.
I just gave you one letter.
The prediction is wrong.
Okay, so go on to the Second World War. Let's see what it says.
Must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences between the fascists and the political Zionists.
Keep going.
Do you think the Second World War was about fascists versus political? No, I'm going to go piece by piece. We'll go on. But do you think that was the Second World War between the fascists and the political Zionists?
Keep going on that.
Who were the fascists?
Just let's finish the paragraph.
Who were the fascists?
I'll give you the answer.
No. We're going to do this step by step. Who were the fascists?
Obviously,
who were the fascists?
You don't have to go over that. We know. We're intelligent enough.
Okay, who were the political Zionists?
Who do you think?
I'm asking you.
Who were the political Zionists?
I don't know. It's hard for me. Was it? Well, look, the fascists were fighting both the USSR and the United States, two very different ideologies.
Right.
So was the United States and the USSR, were those the political Zionists?
I believe if you look at the current political Zionists, you'll have your answer.
I'm not asking about the current ones. I'm asking about at the time. I'm just trying to ask you questions.
There's no correlation between the setup of Israel.
Yeah, were the British political Zionists?
So then World War II.
Were the French, the Italians, or who were the political Zionists?
Well, wait a second. So then who took the Bank of England? Who then went in and lent money to the Bank of England because they went bankrupt?
What does that have to do with this?
Then maybe we'll find our answer to the political Zionism. And then maybe we will.
Wait, but then wouldn't England be a political Zionist? Wouldn't Italy? Wouldn't France? Are they also political Zionists?
Interesting. Then maybe you'll understand who controls the BI.
Stop with your prophetic words. Have a conversation.
I am.
So we've established that you think that the Schmazis were the fascists and everybody else was political Zionists. I'll go on. This war must be brought about so that Nazism is destroyed and that the political Zionism be strong enough to institute a sovereign state of Israel in Palestine. Now, is Nazism destroyed?
They did a pretty good job of destroying Nazis.
Not quite destroyed, but they did a good job. I agree with you.
So you're gonna.
Did that lead to instituting a sovereign state of Israel in Palestine? Yes. Okay, cool. So part of this is right. During the Second World War, international communism. During the Second World War, international communism must become strong enough in order to balance Christendom, which would then be restrained and held in check until the time we would need it for the final social cataclysm. Well, I'm confused. What's international communism? Who are the international communists?
Who are the international communists?
Yeah.
Are you addressing this paragraph? Because they don't say, where does it say international?
During the Second World War, international communism, and these are capitalized letters. That's a proper noun. So we're talking about a group, a specific group. International communism must be strong enough in order to balance Christendom, which would be then restrained and held in check until the time we would need it for the final social cataclysm. So international communism, whoever the international communists must be strong enough to balance Christendom. So who are the international communists?
You'll find out when you read the...
Oh, we'll find out. Yeah. Yeah, okay. We'll tell you later. We'll tell you later. But this is all true. This is sounding a lot like the last cult I was in.
I'll tell you exactly who they are. But read the third paragraph. You'll find out who they are. You'll know exactly who they are, my friend.
There's no third paragraph in that one. Are you talking about
the Third World War?
Okay.
Yeah.
The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the State of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists. That's me. I'm the atheist. They're going to unleash me. And we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm, which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and the most bloody turmoil. So this is all going to show how bad atheism is. These are a bunch of... We're going to pit Christians... Jews and the Muslims against each other to show how bad atheism is?
Oh, no. They're actually supporters of atheism.
Supporters of atheism. Okay, so this is a point.
They're not attacking atheism.
Okay, so despite the fact that the first two in the First World War and the Second World War, there were parts in there that they got wrong. You're now saying that like this conflict between Israel and Palestine, this will bring about the Third World War, right?
Which part did they get wrong, by the way?
That they don't know what communism is.
Oh, okay.
And that they seem to have a difficult time explaining who political Zionists are.
Got it.
The international communism must be strong enough to balance Christendom. Again, I asked you what international communism is, and you said we'll find out later. So
you didn't read the rest.
Answer that.
No, you didn't read the rest of the paragraph.
I literally read the whole paragraph, dude. I've read every word out loud.
No, of the Third World War.
During the Second World War, international communism must become...
The Third World War, my friend.
I just read that. That's what I just read.
No, the full paragraph.
I read 3 paragraphs. You want me to keep going? Then everywhere, the citizens, obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries, will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude, disillusioned with Christianity, whose is that what does that say? Deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view. The manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism. Wait, you just told me they were pro-atheist. They're destroying Christianity and atheism. For what? For Luciferianism? How does Luciferianism exist to an atheist?
Have you seen
believe in
what's
Lucifer
going on in Hollywood lately, or no?
What's that?
Have you seen what's going on in Hollywood lately, or no?
Yeah, I've watched some movies before. Yeah, what the Christ are you talking about?
Do you know what's going on in Hollywood and
Dude,
how?
Just tell me what's going on. Like, that's such a broad question. Yeah, they're making a lot of movies. They're making a lot of money. There's television shows. Harvey Weinstein got in trouble. Like, dude, that's the most generic question. Just tell me what you want to say.
I'm curious if you're noting.
No, just tell me what you want to say, dude.
Oh, it's tough to go over historical evidence of exactly what's going on today, and drawing the reflection, which is reflecting to you exactly what is happening today.
This isn't exactly. Most of this they got wrong.
And
There's no. Where is the internet?
Most of it they got wrong. Are you sure?
Where is international communism? Where is it?
I believe
Is it
you can
hiding?
It's hiding right on your dollar bill in the form of a pyramid.
International communism is a drawing on our currency. That's what international communism is.
They're not using your little perfect Karl
I'm
Marx
asking you where
definition.
international communism is.
International communism is Luciferianism. And you know what? Is
what?
The reference made, if you can't make the reference in the...
communism is... Wait, why didn't they just call it Luciferianism?
Because they're getting to that, and they're going to let you know...
No, they didn't. No, actually, no. What they said is the international communism must become strong enough so it balance out Christendom.
Correct.
So you have to have equal people of Christians and international communists.
Yep, you got to
and
build
that
up an
keeps the
enemy.
Christians at bay.
How are you going to fight an enemy if you don't have an enemy? You got to build up an enemy, right? So
You just make one up. You call them international communists. You just make something up. That's what happened here.
Yeah, I didn't make it up.
That's what happened. You guys just make... Yeah, that group doesn't exist, brother. That group doesn't exist.
The Luciferians
There's
don't
no
exist?
such thing as international communists.
Oh, okay. Because you haven't heard it on mainstream.
Now, here's what's frustrating about you.
Have
Is
you
when
done
you
your
can't
research?
answer a question, you won't admit it. You just go, oh.
No,
You
I'm
have
just...
the narrative.
You
You're the one making all these claims. I'm poking holes in your claims, and you're like, Hollywood is Luciferianism.
Hollywood is very satanic, as we all...
There's Satan. Before you say it, who is Satan? Who is Satan?
Satan, if you want to get... Oh, so I see what you're doing.
Who is it?
So then the definition...
Yeah, I'm bringing up the fact that Satan's not real.
Doesn't fall under Luciferianism. Is that what you're saying?
Lucifer is Satan.
No, incorrect.
No, that was his name. His name was Lucifer.
No.
Your Bible, brother. I've read the Bible 50 plus times. I was a borderline scholar. Like,
where in the Bible does it
Lucifer is Satan. He is the
where
fallen...
in the Bible does it say Satan? Pull it up. Use ChatGPT 3.5. It's free.
What's that?
Use ChatGPT 3.5. It's free. You'll and I want to know where in the Bible.
Dude, just say what you have to say. Not everything needs to be a fucking egg hunt. I don't memorize where scriptures are. Just tell me what it says.
It doesn't. Actually, it doesn't mention Satan in the Bible at all. It mentions Lucifer. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on. The serpent, who's commonly referred to as Satan, whose name was Lucifer. That's what I just said, dude.
Listen to yourself. Where in the Bible does it mention?
Are you doing that thing where you?
No. You're doing it to me, so I'm asking you where.
I said Lucifer was the name of Satan, and you're like, no, his name's Lucifer. We're saying the same thing.
Where in the Bible does it mention Satan? Go ahead. Since you've read
I just told you. It says Lucifer, and it's commonly referenced that the serpent is Satan.
It says Satan in the Bible? Are you sure? You've read the Bible?
I swear to God, can you hear?
Okay, brother.
What did I just say? Repeat what I just said.
It's okay to admit that
repeat what I just said.
It's okay to admit that you don't...
No, repeat what I just said.
I don't have to repeat what you just said. I'm not your...
You don't know what I just said. You don't know what I just said.
And you're just paraphrasing the Bible. You're putting the word...
No, I didn't. I actually didn't paraphrase the Bible.
Yeah,
I wasn't paraphrasing the Bible there. I was telling you what Christians believe.
Yeah, Satan...
I didn't just quote the Bible.
Sorry, Satan is not found in the Bible. I'm sorry.
I didn't say that he was.
The chat will...
I didn't. I literally said the serpent, who people commonly refer to as Satan. If people commonly refer to them, that doesn't mean it's in the Bible. And I said his name is Lucifer, and you're like, Lucifer is actually his name. You said the same thing as me.
That's okay. That's okay. The reality is,
bro, this is fucking insane. That's what I said. You're losing your mind.
The reality is that there are some
be quiet for a second. I'm muting you. Hold on. In the chat, give me a thumbs up if I said Lucifer was what Satan was referred to in the Bible. Thumbs up in the chat if that's what I said. See that? See that? See that?
To cover your ass. You said
everybody's lying now. You couldn't possibly be wrong.
You said it to cover your ass. It's okay. Listen.
No, you are so disingenuous because now you're getting stuck. Now, tell me who Satan is.
I don't have to tell you who Satan is.
Lucifer?
Who is he?
Who is he?
There are some very
Who
very
is he?
dark.
Who is he?
entities
Who
that-
is he? I don't care about your narrative anymore. Now, in order for you to tell me that Hollywood is run by Satan, you better be able to tell me who the fuck Satan is.
I can give you the evidence for that right now.
Go ahead.
There are, if you look up, is Hollywood controlled by Satan, right, on Google, just do it.
Who is Satan?
You will find so many.
I will find people like you who believe that Satan is real. But who is Satan? Prove to me that Satan is real.
Artists.
Who is Satan? Who is he? Who is Satan? Who is Satan? Who is he? Who is he? Who is he? I'm asking you a specific question. This is not an opportunity for you to preach. Who is Satan?
Not in the Bible.
Who's Lucifer?
Lucifer? I think we all know who Lucifer is. Lucifer.
No, I don't know. I've never seen any evidence he exists. Who is he?
You read the Bible 50 times. You don't know.
Yeah, and I think the Bible's bullshit. There's no evidence that he exists.
You read it 50 times and you don't know who Lucifer is?
No, I think it's a made up person.
It's made up that Lucifer fell out of heaven. And
yeah, because heaven also no evidence that heaven exists.
Right, of course, because you're an atheist.
Right, of course.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not.
So
brother,
who's got the narrative here? Now we're to the part where it's imaginary people.
No,
now we're talking about imaginary people running Hollywood.
Here's the thing: if you
who's got the just admit it. Who's got the narrative? Me or you?
I know you're gonna. What?
Who's got the narrative?
I'm asking you.
Who has the narrative?
Right, you're gonna talk over me. I can't make a point.
I'm gonna make you answer the fucking question. Who has the narrative? Me or you?
Don't be upset. What I'm saying.
Who has the narrative? Me or you? Goddamn, dude, be quiet. Answer the question and then you can narrativize.
I'm not going to narrativize.
Who has the narrative? Me or you?
I'm giving you the evidence of
who has the narrative? Is it me or is it you?
You're clinging onto a narrative.
Who has the narrative? Is it me or is it you?
I just told you. Now what?
What's my narrative?
What's your narrative?
Yeah.
The narrative that you've clung to is there is a right and wrong clear distinction between the Democrats and the Republicans are all evil.
That's not my narrative. No, wrong. 0 for 1. I think I've already explained on this call multiple times that I think that Democrats get a lot of things wrong and that they have been co-opted by the military-industrial complex. Wrong. Try again. What's my narrative?
MAGA is all stupid.
What's my narrative?
Cult.
What's my narrative?
Your narrative is MAGA is a cult. That's your narrative.
I agree. Yeah, and I have good reasons for that. Do you want me to explain the reasons why I think MAGA is a cult?
Now I'm going to try
to tell you why I think MAGA is a cult.
Now I'm going to give you evidence. Ready?
What? Of what?
Of clear evidence of Lucifer being in and Satan being in, if you want to say Satan, in Hollywood, and
Who is Lucifer?
And that they have taken over Hollywood.
Who is Lucifer?
Clear evidence. You want the evidence?
Who is Lucifer?
See, that's the thing. Do you want the evidence? You said
brother,
you wanted.
Listen,
you said
brother.
There's no evidence of Satan taking over Hollywood.
Exists. No, that he exists.
There's no evidence that Hollywood has been taken over by Lucifer.
Listen, dude. Something has to exist.
So then I'm going to give you evidence.
Something has to exist.
Yeah. Here it is right now. I'm going to give it to you.
You're going to give me evidence that Satan exists.
I'm going to give you evidence that Satan and Lucifer, whatever name you want, have taken over Hollywood.
Okay,
ready?
Cool.
Ready?
Great. I'm so ready.
Okay, ready? Go to YouTube or Google and type that in. Type.
We can use YouTube and Google now? Okay, cool.
And you will have Lady Gaga. You will have people admitting that. Hold on. Whoa. Hold on. Hundreds and hundreds of artists are now coming out and telling you that Satan and Lucifer have taken over Hollywood. They have to sell their souls.
I don't care. That's not evidence. That's more people. Okay, which one of those people can tell me who Satan is?
Hundreds and hundreds.
Which one of those people can tell me who Satan is?
There you go. More evidence for you.
Which one of those people? These are people's opinions. Oh my God, dude, you are so disingenuous. Who is Satan?
You're not.
Who is Satan?
Now, Satan. Why do I have to?
Where is he? Where is he?
You want to talk about Lucifer? I can tell you about Lucifer.
Where is he? Where's Satan? How do I find him?
Whatever name you want. Lucifer, Satan. What do you want?
Where is he? Where is he? How do I get a hold of him?
He's in Hollywood.
He's in Hollywood. So if I go to LA, I can find him?
Oh yes.
What does he look like? How will I know what he looks like?
Okay, he comes in a dark suit and he's offering you a ton of cash and he's offering you fame.
I bet if I went to Hollywood right now, nobody would. Wait, but are you telling me if I go to Hollywood, somebody's going to show up in a dark suit with a bunch of cash and offer it to me? That sounds terrific. But it also sounds like something that wouldn't happen if I went to Hollywood right now.
If you're an upcoming artist, yes, it would, and it's happened.
But I'm not an upcoming artist, so do you have to be an upcoming artist to figure out who Satan is?
They will actually confront you. They'll actually come to you, and you will find hundreds and hundreds.
Who are they?
That have been converted.
Who are they?
Who are
the people that will confront me?
All you have to do is the research.
Great. And how will they prove that Satan exists?
Hundreds, and they'll tell you all about it,
brother.
Not just
there's
me.
millions, there's millions of people who believe in Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, and Jesus Christ. That doesn't mean there's evidence of it. I don't care. This is why you are susceptible to being in a cult. I was in one. Testimony, and feelings are not enough to verify the existence of something. Imagine living your life in a way that just enough people saying something is evidence enough for you to believe in a worldwide conspiracy.
So many artists that have come out, hundreds and hundreds of artists.
I can't say this enough. I don't give a fuck what anybody says until they can prove something. But you only care if people agree with what you're saying. Prove to me Satan exists, and we'll have a conversation.
I'm actually giving you art.
No, listen.
People that compromise their careers.
Let me ask you a question. Shut up. I don't care. Shut up. Let me ask you a question.
You know, the evidence is tough to hear.
Shut up. Let me ask you a question.
Shut up.
If a bunch of people, if there were like thousands of people that came to me and they're like, hey, Circe eats children. And you were like, no, I don't. Where's the evidence? And I'm like, all these people said it. You'd be like, yeah, well, where's the evidence? Are there children missing? Or like, was I around? No, well, I'm like, I don't care. Look, just go to Hollywood. There's 1,000 people in Hollywood that are going to be like, oh, that Circe ate children.
Child sex
evidence? Wait, no, engage.
The evidence is everywhere. Epstein is one of them.
Wait, is that evidence? Is that enough evidence to bury you?
Yeah. Epstein Island.
So you eat children?
Major opening in the evidence. In the little secret chamber that you think doesn't exist.
So that's enough evidence for you?
Epstein Island is a major. You know why? He was a billionaire.
I don't care anymore. I don't fucking care. Oh. Look, it's easy to believe conspiracies when you don't care what words mean and you don't care about evidence. It's really easy. That was an enjoyable day. I didn't have a hard cutoff today. I know. What did Jen say? That was crazy. Sorry, Jen. What was this? The first occurrence of the word Satan in the Hebrew Bible in reference to a supernatural figure comes from Numbers 22:22. Let's see that. The reason I didn't want to go to the Bible is because the Bible is literally just like more hearsay. I want somebody to I wanted him to prove to me who the devil is, and like using the Bible as existence of the devil or Lucifer doesn't matter, right? You have to then prove that the Bible is accurate. But God was very angry when he went, and the angel of the Lord stood in the road to oppose him. Balaam was riding on his donkey. Yeah, it doesn't say Satan. Hey, IB.
Look up Luke 10:18.
Which version?
Is not in the Bible. Oh, any version. I think it's in every one of them.
I'll go to King James. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning falls from heaven. All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah, mentioned.
There you go.
That's the one I always fall back to because every translation has it.
Well, and that's the thing. Like every translation is exactly that, a translation, and it's a translation of a story that was passed down by people that like through telling the story, not even writing it down. Like none of it is good evidence, but I appreciate it.
Oh, right. I mean,
there you go.
I'm right there with you on that one. But yeah, I mean, Numbers 22:22, the one that was mentioned before. Some translations have it and some don't. It's about he was standing in the road blocking Balaam. And in some translations, it says he was standing in the road as Satan, just basically as an adversary. But most modern translations, the Satan word is taken out of that and just said it as an adversary. But
gotcha. Okay. Well, there you go.
But I figured the Luke 10:18 one was an easy one.
Shit, I guess I'm not going to believe his story now. I was on the way to believing him. I was on the way, but now we've...
Yeah, we were so close. He had us on the verge, man. I was just buying it until that.
Damn it. I'm sorry, Circe. Sorry about that. Thanks, Abdi. I appreciate it.
Yep, no problem, brother.
That's it. Let's see. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Oh, that was weird. That was weird. That was a weird day. Fuck, I'm going to Hollywood though. If I go to Hollywood, I will listen. If there's anybody listening who wants to give me a boatload of cash to like follow Satan, done. Let's do it. I won't even ask about who Satan is. If you're paying me, I don't care if Satan's real or not. But if you're not paying me, I need to know if it's real or not. Felice was not here today. She was just taking care of her dad. Her dad's a little sick. She takes care of her dad, so that's why she wasn't here today. Nothing going on there. But that's why. Anyways, if any of you are the dark suit briefcase dude looking to flash a little money my way, I will take it. Thank you guys today for that. It was refreshing for me to just spend 3.5 hours farming potatoes. That's what I was born to do, and it was therapeutic. So I hope Felice's dad is healthy and back soon. But I enjoyed it, and I appreciate all you guys hanging out with me today. Thank you for the gifts, for the likes. What do we hit? We had 183,000 likes. That's pretty good for half a live. Make sure you're following us on YouTube. These lives will be reposted. They're reposted every single day. Jen works her ass off getting those up there. So follow on YouTube, turn on the notifications, and you can watch these at any time. Also Instagram and Twitter. You can follow us there. Facebook. We'll often be posting on there. But thank you guys so much for all the support. It means the world to me. We will see you tomorrow. I don't know if Felice will be here or not, but I will be. And hopefully it's just as insane as it was today. That was weirdly a palate cleanser. So I'll see you guys in the morning.